therapy in your own home. Come see the Vigor Cold Plunge, available only at Pinch a Penny on Capitol Circle Northeast and Greer Road.
Can we talk about the most important things in your life, your family, your friends, your home, and enjoying the time you spend together? You sure don't want to have to think about whether everybody's going to be comfortable. You want Tony Kelly to make sure everybody's comfortable. That's what Tony Kelly does, and that's what's most important for the entire Tony Kelly team. Their prompt, professional service and attention to detail, they're famous for it. Focus on what's most important to you and let Tony Kelly Heating and Air keep everybody comfortable.
Stay comfortable and stay focused on the most important things with Tony Kelly Heating and Air, committed to serving you and your family with exceptional service, skilled technicians, and reliable high-quality work. Go to TonyKellyInc.com to find their full range of HVAC services, including repairs, installations, inspections, and maintenance. TonyKellyInc.com or call 850-385-3774.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Push the pocket right. This is Hagens, and Duke leads for the first time since 1980. Duke has beaten Clemson.
That is the end of the game.
At Memorial Stadium. On Warchant TV, on the YouTube channel. That, too, is local. We appreciate you. Well, you know, we thought we'd have a little fun. The weekend was largely about the schadenfreude that was watching Miami lose. We're used to that in November. Watching Florida lose. They're used to that period. Watching Clemson lose again at home. These days, they're used to that as well. And then, hey, the rarely seen, desperately needed sighting of a win in the ACC for our beloved Noles. How about that? So it felt only appropriate that we would have, of course, the montage with a little Joe Cocker lift us up where we belong. It just felt nice. It just felt good. You know, we needed it. And it happened for us. I will say it loomed large, did Schadenfreude over the weekend. I gave you the reasons for the celebration. By the way, that's the 6th loss as a double-digit favorite under Cristobal. It's been there like an hour. Now, again, you could easily turn the statistics back towards us. I would also point out that it's weird times when you're at the game, and I was enjoying myself with my son and my dad as we enjoyed the game together. 42-7 is a romp. It's a rocking chair game. How we got there is a little weird.
But it's 3 generations of Florida State men standing side by side as Florida State avoids the ACC Platinum Bohica.
No Platinum Bohica around these parts, baby. By the way, we got the start of college basketball season. That's hard to believe. It begins. 169 games being played involving Division I programs. That's nuts. I know you don't care, but I'm just letting you know it's happening. By the way, this will be the 2nd consecutive year that FSU has opened up our season on November the 4th. This college basketball, gets earlier and earlier on the calendar. I don't like it.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jeff. This is one of my favorite sports I've ever experienced, other than lacrosse and swimming.
I was going to say soccer in there.
Soccer makes the top 5.
It has to, because ACC is really good at it.
Well, it's just in general. I really appreciate the finer things.
So I think I did like a lot of people did. I relished the moment. I just enjoyed being there, cool weather, around fellow Noles to watch a win. I didn't extrapolate anything from it. I didn't, it doesn't mean anything necessarily. It means that on Saturday night, you won your homecoming game against Wake Forest. And you did so, eventually, going away. It's good. It's nice. It's been a minute. It has been more than a minute. It has been way too long. But it happened. And I thought what was interesting, one of the things that you watch with these two teams, it doesn't seem like it when you look back on it because the final was 42-7, but I think it's true. We'll never know, but I think it's true. I think it was really important for Florida State to get out in front, to get a 7-0 lead. Like of all of the touchdowns and all of the things, the first one that Florida State gets turns out to be huge in my opinion. And it's interesting because it doesn't happen until the second quarter. It's 0-0 in the second quarter. Early in the second quarter, obviously, the Castellano scramble, and you have the big play to Deuce, and that's absolutely huge with whatever that was, 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. And what a game he had, by the way. He's just so fun to watch, and I love the way he plays the game and how hard he plays the game and how much love he has for the game. It kind of shows. I love when you see guys like that. Pittman does that too. When I watch Pittman play, he's physical. It's kind of funny. His Wildcat touchdown run is just so him, right? And they've got him hemmed up. No, I'm not going down. It's not going down. You can't come in here with that shoulder tackle nonsense with me.
Well, that's the kind of thing you see when a team is checked out in the moment. And Wake Forest didn't want to be there by that possession.
By that possession,
it had been beaten out of them.
Yeah.
And so that's nice to see the other sideline. It's nice to see the other side of the ball. Not our jerseys, not our helmets. Have a moment like that.
Yeah, and it's even like the fact that this game turns into a blowout. What is it, 7-0 with 3:15 to go in the second quarter or whatever that is? I was making mental notes at the time. I was like, this is a slog. But you get a long run from Sam Singleton, who I don't think you had on your bingo card. Either did I.
Happy to see it, though. Clearly, that was a reward for staying committed. And good. You like to see things like that.
Absolutely. You get the later on, you get the 3rd and 13 shot play to Pittman. I call it a shot play. It's a big play down the field on 3rd and 13 to Pittman. About 2 minutes to go. That's a sweet play.
It's great offensive line protection there.
Pass pro for days. He has all day to let that come open. Singleton scores with 57 seconds, 14-0. And I'll be honest with you, at 14-0, the game's over. Wake Forest offense, similar to this one in that if you trail running their offense, I think similarly against our offense, if you get into a drop-back pass game, if that has to be your mode of transportation, if you will, you're in trouble. It just ain't going to happen. They're not equipped to move the ball that way. They don't trust either quarterback at all. They don't believe in their quarterbacks. I wouldn't either. They both stink. And so, you're in a situation where you need to play within a score, maybe 10, something like that. You got to be in the game to be able to still run what you want to run. They really couldn't anymore. They have one last chance if they could have made it 14-7, but you get the snap off the hands. At first, I thought it was a bad snap live when I was in person, but when I rewatched it on Sunday morning, I'm like, that snap's right there. Catch the ball, dude.
Well, I mean, you got the running back crossing his face, too, which is not ideal. You're talking about the Rawls.
Yeah, the Rawls recovery. It's still
the Florida State football fumble recovery from the defense.
Yes.
The one where Florida State, as a defense,
recovered the fumble,
saw a loose football and came up with the loose football.
So that happens, and then they get the 15-yard penalty at the end of that because he slings him out of frustration. It's just
he was furious about the false start just before it, and about five other
things. Yeah. So that happens, and now you're all set, and that's then you get another deuce play. You get a great catch, the ridiculous left-handed around the back catch, and then sets you up. And once it's 21-0, you can forget about it. And now it starts to feel like it's going to be what it ended up becoming.
Well, the foundational elements of the game were helped and greatly aided by flags on Wake Forest. And now they're one of the most penalized teams in the country. So when you walk into any stadium, your own or on the road, if you've got a reputation for being illegal in your actions, it's going to beget itself.
Yeah.
50-50s are going to be thrown.
Ask Miami. They had 9 penalties in the game against Louisville,
right?
And that one cost them dearly. And then they just were penalized again against SMU, I think 9 more times or whatever. But it might have been 11. That'll cost you.
Yeah, and Wake entering the game was just under 9 per game, 130-something in the country. And so 50-50s. And some of these weren't. I'm not saying that the ACC gifted us calls, but the ACC made calls that benefited Florida State to the tune of probably 115, 120 yards of total value. When you think about it, it's a gain of 60, -10, gain of 35, -10, and then a couple more that he goes, I'm not so sure.
Oh, there are a couple there's a couple where you raise an eyebrow, but
it helped everything settle down, because I think we would have been okay, and we would have been okay with Wake taking the lead there. It looked like we were a little bit tentative. But once things settle down, you do get those calls, you do make a couple of plays, and you do take the lead. Maybe it's a jumping off point. Maybe this is the trampoline you needed, which was a shaky first quarter. Stripes help you out. Wake Forest also shoots itself in the foot, which is great. They have a 4th and 1 where they're clearly going for it, and they get a false start in that situation. They made no sense in some of the things that they called. That second drive or first drive, it's 3rd and 11. You're at or just in front of midfield,
hand the ball off,
and you call a give-up run?
You call the give-up. I'm telling you, they don't trust their quarterback at all. They don't believe in him. Tom, it's right of you to point this out. There were a lot of give-up calls on second down. There were give-up calls on 2nd and 3rd down all night. They don't believe in their passing game at all.
Part of me wonders, and I know your point, and you're correct about both quarterbacks not being inspirational, but I wonder if Ashford being healthy helped influence that line. Like, because he's playing, they said, they don't get along, or there's something going on there. Because he was, I don't even know what the proper word is, but TV caught it clearly on the sidelines, and obviously on the field he showed his rear end enough times, displeased with his teammates. I don't think they like each other, the 10 and the quarterback. But I think they might like the backup, and that might have had something to do with the line going from 6-7 all the way up to 10 before kickoff.
Well, they got decisions to make, and the thing kind of snowballed on them as it does. And, hey, listen, we needed a win in the worst way. I hate, I'm not going to pour cold water on us after a win. I was happy to be there to see it. I was happy to enjoy the game with like I said, my family and fellow Noles. It was a good time had by all. A lot of people were very happy. The attendance was better than I thought it was going to be once it got going. Students were obviously very late arriving. They haven't been this year, so I'm not going to get on them. They have a right to be a little pissed off right about now. What's interesting about this weekend's worth of college football, and let me just note something here. If we're going to look big picture, and it doesn't really involve us per se, but this is a crazy season for the ACC. I mean, who in the world is going to end up in the ACC championship game at this point? There's some pivotal games.
Probably not Miami.
No, they need some things to happen at this point, and it's glorious to see. And, but Georgia Tech getting housed by NC State, this gets down to like Duke, Virginia, Georgia Tech, Pitt. Pitt's about to play a huge game soon enough against Notre Dame. If Pitt wins that game, Notre Dame is see ya, and Pitt finds themselves right there in the playoff contention at that point. The Virginia-Duke game itself is going to be huge. You look around college football, and many coaches that were held in very high regard don't feel that important right about now. We get another coaching firing, so the carousel continues, and the depth to which these teams will be searching for a coach, and perhaps I don't know, lesser commitment, salary, years. I think that's going to happen throughout the country. There's only a couple of the big names that anybody is, I guess you would say, vying for, Lane being the biggest. But you've got big jobs open, not enough big name candidates to fill them, and a whole lot of other jobs that fit that next tier. And we'll see what this means for Florida State. Whether or not Mike is able to salvage his job will depend on these next few weeks. Obviously, you go on the road now against Clemson. It's a night game. Clemson is reeling. The situation with Dabo is turning toxic. Those fans are booing lustfully. They are angry. They lose at home seemingly all the time now. Dabo can't do a post-game press conference where he doesn't attempt after a failing to remind everybody of all the times that he didn't and the many times that they succeeded previous. It's as if that game didn't matter that they just played. It's always about whatever it was that he did great, a few years back. And to be sure, that resume exists, but it gets old if you're a fan having to hear that every time you lose. It's chiding is what it is. And it's almost like he's begging to get let go, to start anew somewhere else, because it feels like their culture is really struggling. And you look around college football, and one thing that stands out, whether you're worried about a team's culture or a coach's commitment or acumen for the game in the case of Cristobal, whatever it is you're looking at, you're seeing teams struggle to create any sort of consistency week over week. The exception being my guy at Indiana. Holy moly, every Saturday, Tom, just throw your chips towards Indiana.
Yeah, cover train.
I mean, it's stupid. I just bet the over at every game they play because they're going to drop 50. And they did again. And Loxley's also going to get fired at Maryland. That was the team on the wrong end of that butt kicking. So it's weird times right now. We get a huge win, feels sort of empty, happy to see it happen. Watch the enemies of Florida State fall on their face. And yes, I too can engage in schadenfreude, but I'm looking around at the landscape and I'm seeing week to week the supposed really good teams can oftentimes look, a little less than sterling. They look like they can be had. It feels wide open. I think a lot of people probably like that about college football, but it affects the way you view a coaching search. I think it affects the way you view whatever's pending for Florida State. Obviously, this is a sort of with every win that Mike gets, it's sort of a stay of execution for another week. And that's the feeling. Right? If you had lost homecoming against Wake there at night, after all the other losses, one would assume the administration would have been forced into making a different kind of announcement, and perhaps they would not have waited to the end of the year as they've once posited earlier this year. But he doesn't. He wins the game big. Now, again, every week's a referendum. So as good as you might have felt walking out of that stadium Saturday night, does it really carry over? Not really. You lose to Clemson, who's reeling, and all of a sudden you're right back to where you were, which is we need to make a move. And in the midst of having to make a move, which I think you need to anyhow, and I've said that repeatedly, and I'll continue to say it, but even if you're on the other side of it, I mean, you do realize week to week's the referendum. It's every game that you play, whether or not you're able to, process moving forward and figuring out what that looks like. I think it's a crazy, muddled time in college football where there are so many teams, non-traditional teams, that have an opportunity to win a conference, to make a college football playoff, to make a deep run in said playoffs that you would never have guessed. I mean, obviously, when you look around at, college football week to week, you watch a team get a great win, then they turn around and lose that game, then the whispers begin, then they turn around and win the next one and lose the one after. It's very inconsistent.
Yeah, so you take a look ahead and you could tuck away a few teams in your mind right now for bye weeks in the 12-team playoff, Ohio State being one of them, and Ohio State being, I think, the bully that everybody's looking to see. Are they for real? Because they lost a lot. Have they been tested this year? Schedule looked on paper more difficult than it's probably played out in reality. But they don't play that first week. And probably Texas A&M, if they continue, doesn't play that week. Once you get to 5 to 12 and we're doing on-campus games, anything can happen.
Yes.
I don't know that means and ensures, it certainly does not, that we're going to get 4 very good games the opening weekend of the playoff. But when this thing first launched or was announced that you have a 12-team playoff and here's how it's going to break out, we hoped that we could maybe get 1 out of those 4 on-campus games that would be compelling. Because in the moment that it was announced, there wasn't this much parity. But now that there is so much parity, get ready for December madness. Forget about March madness. Forget about December madness. This could be something epic that comes up here in just about 6 weeks' time.
They're going to have a hard time. This is going to get more and more. Like, we thought this might create a level of clarity. I don't think so. Now, again, you're going to be arguing about, some of the teams on the back end of the college football seeding, playoff seeding. But it's fascinating to watch this go forward. It's so funny too. The names of people that everybody's sure about changes quickly. I can remember when we were having a conversation in the midst of 2 and 10 right here on these boards. I don't have it pulled up. I need to go over and check everybody there in the chat. But every time we came in, it was Deion. Well, they lose by 50 every week. He's not a candidate for any job. He's about to retire. I mean, I would think.
And there's another opening.
I mean, they suck to high heaven. Travis Hunter's not walking through that door anytime soon. And now that he doesn't have superstars at 2 key important positions, he's terrible again. And he's unhealthy, unfortunately for him. I don't wish that on anybody. But so these are factors that I think he'll be out of the game. So Colorado could open up. It was a nice snapshot for about an hour. But then you look at some other positions. Florida State could open up. Auburn did just open up. But one by one, many of the names who just weeks ago or a year ago were being bantied about as surefire candidates that can't miss are now in the midst of having terrible seasons, or certainly seasons that make you raise an eyebrow.
And that's why this could not be better timing for somebody like a Lane Kiffin to keep on winning. They didn't slip up against South Carolina. And so every time that you stack this, not only are you staring right dead in the eyes of a playoff berth, which you found a way not to get last year,
right?
Your raise is about to be monumental.
Well, that number, is rumored out there. Yeah.
What was it? 12, 13?
It's 13 and a half, 14 million. Yeah.
Which is what we speculated a couple of weeks ago, that if you were going to have to pluck him, if you were us or Florida or whoever, that's the kind of money you were going to be spending. But as some of these candidates fall by the wayside, or some of them re-sign where they are, and LSU is sitting out there, and Penn State, I mean, they're going to drive the market here.
Yeah, LSU, Penn State, Florida, go on, and let's just see. I mean, I feel like it's entirely likely, unless the number becomes so obscene as to you cannot turn it down, that Lane will just stay at Ole Miss. You can now win at places like Ole Miss in a way that you could not have before.
I also think it means that the big man on College Game Day might be coming back. And I'm not trying to say here. It's just Nick is laughing and smiling more on College Game Day than I've ever seen. It's a little unnatural to see how happy he is. And I wonder if that's because he's finally decided that he's done. That could be. Or if he's hearing from his agent every week that the number's going up by 1.7 to $2 million.
Well, to me, it wouldn't be about money for him. I mean, sure, that would be orchestrated and negotiated, and the number would be obscene, because that's what would be commanded for a guy who's considered to be the greatest coach of all time in college football. But the thing about him is the factors that he'd have to consider are 2 very important factors. Age, which is, it matters. I mean, it's a grueling job to be a college football coach.
He and Mac Brown are the same age. They're basically born on the same
and they look
day.
very different for sure. But I'm saying age is a big to-do here. But remember, a lot of people feel like Nick Saban and I think to some degree this is certainly true, left the game because he hated where it was headed. He did not like NIL. He did not like unlimited transfers. I that's the thing coaches really do loathe, is this inability to stockpile talent. And, boo-hoo, right? I know we don't sit around feeling sorry for him, but if you weren't keeping up with and doing a good job with NIL and transfer portal towards the end of your storied career, do you want to jump back into that now? If it's a big reason why you walked away. I don't know. He'd have to really figure that out. He would have to have spent some time thinking about how he would handle that differently.
Of course, and that would be something that you strategize, but also before you even accept the job you're about to take, you're going to be guaranteed that it's going to be easier on you because all of those funds, I don't walk through the door without the funds to just show up, look a kid in the eyes and say, here's what I'm going to pay you. Come on over.
Yeah, he's not a fan of the transactional building of programs, Tom.
Yeah, he is. He just doesn't want to admit that they were better at it than anybody else.
Well, he doesn't like that others can do it now.
Correct.
That others can do it at a high level now, and that they can afford to do it because they have a baseline with rev share.
It's one of the great moments in college football television history that I don't think gets talked about enough. It's when Shane Gillis says that you're a cheater essentially on the air and you paid players and now everybody can. And he was so taken aback. I'm sure that when they went to break, he had to calm down because the look on his face to his legacy was besmirched by the crazy idea that Alabama did it better than anybody else.
Florida State gets the win. Soon, Florida State will play basketball. And, we are interested in that. Maybe not the sport as a whole that's taken a huge hit. But we got a new guy in town, and I think we want to see how this plays out and what it looks like. So it's going to be an interesting week. This the first Monday in November, and away we go. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
No matter what printing you need to keep your business running, we can help. Hi, Jason Butera here for The Printery. Reduce your stress and give us a call. From new product brochures or posters to yard signs, postcards, even letterhead and envelopes, The Printery sets the standard in personalized service with outstanding results. We offer full-service graphic design and free pickup and delivery. The Printery, home of 36-cent color copies. If it's ink on paper, we've got it covered. Call us today, 877-6418. 877-6418.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
Barry knows school. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows school. You can put him to the test. Barry knows heating and air conditioning. Keeping you comfortable is what Barry does best.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Barry knows heating and air conditioning.
What makes Paul's Termite and Pest Control the best in North Florida?
It's our core values, of course, and they happen to spell Paul's. P, protecting you and your pets from pests and your property from termites.
A, accept personal responsibility. At Paul's, we realize it's up to us to get things right and strive to do more than's expected.
U, uphold company values. Those values include treating others with respect and understanding we represent Paul's Pest Control on and off the clock.
L, look the part. As representatives of this great company, we will always make sure that our image matches the character of Paul's.
S, support the team. Every job we do is a total team effort to create a supportive workplace.
P, protecting you, your pets, and your property. A, accept personal responsibility. U, uphold company values. L, look the part. S, support the team. Paul's core values. They make us the best.
For the elimination of termites and other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Jeff Cameron Show rolling on Monday. Thanks for tuning to it. Appreciate you being here. What do you expect this early in the week? What do you expect to see when Florida State takes on Clemson? You know how we try to get a read? We always check our gut at the start of a week. Lately, it's just been down in the dumps. We've been face down in the muck, trying to pick ourselves up, take a quick shower, clean up, try not to embarrass ourselves as the week goes on. Invariably, we do. We're up back to where we started the following week. It's always frustrating. We lament. We come here. We have a cathartic moment together for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, and we rinse and repeat. We go back. This time around, we kept it together for a weekend. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. They ate properly. They got enough rest. Everybody's feeling pretty good. Showered up, clean shaven, walking with pride. A little bit of pride. Not a lot, because the past is lurking. It's hovering. It's not like you can be boastful after keeping it together for a week. But, you know, you're feeling better about yourself. You got a good night's rest. Clemson, on the other hand, out all night again. Out all night again. Didn't get home in time. They're being chastised by their loved ones.
They've got bar voice.
They swore it would be different this week. It wasn't. As soon as they got castigated for it, they said, "Don't you remember all the things I've done for this family?" That's what he does. That's what that guy does.
How are we out of liquid IV?
Yeah. So where are we at? Where are we at? Are they cleaning themselves up to get ready? It is Florida State and Clemson. It'll be in name only as we see these two teams. But they are going to play.
It's more like that ACC basketball tournament opener with Clemson and Florida State than it is the football.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Clemson and Florida State. This is a tough one. The one thing I expect, if I can use that word, it's not uppercase, lowercase e. I think as long as we don't trip all over ourselves, we're going to have some success offensively. That team is down in the dumps defensively, and if you've got Dabo losing his mind on you on the sidelines for the world to see,
buddy,
they could shut down on him if they haven't already, specifically that side of the football.
They could. There were moments that it looked like they were.
Yeah, that offense is having fun, but as long as we don't trip all over ourselves, I think there might be some plays for us to make. I'm not sure that Clemson's defense will care to run down that hill on Saturday night.
Well, that's the whole thing. There's talent there. You know there's talent there. Every now and again, sometimes it's a quarter, sometimes it's a game. You see it. You recognize it. You look at it and you go, oh, they should be better. Well, we all know what that is. We've had, unfortunately, way too many instances in which the talent in the uniform that you watch running around the field that doesn't make plays, that looks disinterested, it doesn't match up with the physical tools that they seem to be blessed with, right? Somebody 6'4", 250, runs a 4.5, and then you see him in uniform, you think that guy's probably pretty good. In fact, you've seen times in which he was pretty good. But today he's not any good. He's not doing anything. Yeah, that's called checked out. We've seen our guys checked out before. It's happened many times in Mike Norvell's time here, unfortunately. Happened at the end of Jimbo's time here. Happened certainly during Willie's time here. We've got lots of instances where we can say, oh, talent's there. They look the part. Not playing up to that skill set. Don't really care to be there. Extra effort's certainly not going to be there. I'm not even sure the initial effort's going to be there. If Clemson's locked in, they check in for this one because, it's Florida State that's coming to town. Then you got a game that's going to be hard to win. If they're the Clemson that just doesn't really seem all that interested and has given up 46 points to Duke, that's kind of going through the motions, well, yeah, you could watch it all come crashing down. It'd be nice. We've watched it all come crashing down here. It'd be nice to be there and watch it happen for the other guy. It could be the very beginning or the final straw, I should say, for Dabo Swinney at Clemson. Not that they would fire him, but it would be evident that they need to move on and he needs to move on. You could get that. It's going to be intriguing.
Last week, this Saturday's game, we talked about the things that Florida State potentially could succeed with offensively. One of them was downfield shots. We discussed that. You got that in droves. But that trick plays aren't necessarily going to work against Wake. And for the most part, they held up against some of those perimeter runs and the trick plays. They were there. This is a week for trick plays. Clemson doesn't care. They don't care to stay at home. They don't care to mind the house. Nope. They will go freelance. They will go hunting for splash plays. And if it ain't there, that's too bad. You'll see nobody on the screen for a throw to the backside. This is a week where I think if Gus is going to break out reverses and tricks, that they most certainly have a real shot to work against what is an undisciplined group for Clemson.
You don't have to tell him. I mean, he likes to and is inclined to do it anyhow. He wants to do it. I don't know what to make of what Florida State's defense did, where they nearly have the shutout, should have gotten the shutout. You don't turn the ball over. You probably are going to get the shutout. I really wanted the shutout, Tom. I want the spiked baseball. I wanted Chip to be able to do his thing with the spiked baseball. It's just cool to be able to do that. And I would have wanted it because of who it was. Get you some, Wake. We've been on the wrong end of too many of your great moments. Here you go.
Yeah, and you have a turnstile moment from your left tackle who we've been hoping and praying and blood sacrificing for. Didn't happen, and it's on an RPO where you could just hand the ball off. Brock
could just hand it off there, Brock.
Could just give it to, I think it was Singleton again, and he's hunting for 100 yards, so you can give it to him to cross the century mark instead of waiting on a glance.
Agreed. I was frustrated by this.
You have two people who walk hand in hand on that one where you say, could have gotten the spike.
Well, here's the thing about it, though, really quick. The reason why I bring this up, there's going to be a lot of, I don't know what to think of this today. Tony White talked today about the atmosphere on the sideline being completely different, and that, or Tony White after the game talked about this, about how they were calm and they were locked in, and this was a much more focused group. He says it was a different chemistry. Maybe I don't know. I don't like Wake's offense at all.
Yeah, maybe after the penalties, but we gave up explosives there. Then you could say, well, they were only there because of illegal things. I don't know. I think we needed a couple things to go right for us in order to have the fertile ground.
Well, they come out the gates moving the ball against us.
Right.
Yes,
so you need a couple things to go your way to have the fertile ground, to feel different about yourself. Now, it all happened, which is great because that means that you're going to get on a flight and get on a bus and go play that game on Saturday with a confidence that you didn't have before. And if you're saying who feels better about themselves, is it the group that actually needs to get on a bus like Florida State, or the group that gets on a bus for vanity like Clemson this weekend? I think we're the ones that are going to be feeling better about ourselves. You needed help to start the machine, but then once it started, sure, it might have happened.
I do think it's smart to message the way that Tony did. He did own up to the fact that they weren't always clean in their assignments. They didn't do a great job on all, he's not completely taking credit for this kind of a dominant effort. He's noting that some things had to happen, but you can will something into being even if it wasn't at the time, because kids get lost in the positive momentum and emotion that occurs from having, I say kids, everybody does, from having success. It may not have happened for the reasons that you would have liked it to happen, but it happened. And it led to, as the game went on, a greater fervor. You watch that team play faster. You watch them play more physical as they began to believe a little bit that, oh, okay, this is a little bit more of who I thought we were or I wanted us to be. You began to see some of that. So for him to cite it and then say, well, whenever the adversity hit, it brought us together. See, even if that's not true, like even if that's not a thing that was actually happening in real time in the second quarter or midway through the third, but maybe by the fourth it did, you positing that, putting that out there for your players to take in and to hear and to see and to soak in could very well make it true for your next game, meaning they could be convinced of it. Yeah, we did rally around one another. It's a Jedi mind trick. It's a, that the penalty.
You just dropped a Star Wars little note there?
It rarely happens. I have seen the originals, the first three.
How about that?
So it's a little Jedi mind trick in that you say it, doesn't really matter that it was the penalties.
Here's the thing.
It doesn't really matter.
Are you calling our defensive core weak-minded? Because Jedi mind tricks only work on the weak.
Well, I think there's evidence to that end. It was worth a shot in the dark.
They are not?
No.
He went, hey, it worked for us last week, guys. And then they go, oh.
So if you think about it, they talk about, they poured their cup out, he said. They got to refill it and do it again. I don't know if they were pouring their cup out, Tony. I think they were kind of unsure for a little while. Oh, but look at that, another penalty on Wake.
Is it like a Dixie cup or a Tervis tumbler? What are we dealing with here?
Is it this big bad boy right here? Look at the size of this thing, huh?
That's a Tervis, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if it's
is that a 32?
It's a 32, but I don't know if it's a Tervis or not. It's a Roberts.
It's a sense of accomplishment in the morning when you can down a 32 of H2O to start.
I do it every morning. That's how I start every day.
You feel better.
I do it every morning, and a little dash of lemon.
Oh, lemon.
Kickstart your
stuff.
Right. You got to get your plumbing going.
Well,
yeah,
sure
you just do a little lemon squeeze there. You fill that sucker up.
Not the only thing that squeezes thereafter.
It's just padow. You get that down, you get your day started, baby. I have a bad habit of drinking too much coffee. I'm also fond of beer, as people may know, and so I am frequently dehydrated. I have to begin every morning with massive amounts of water.
Was homecoming a craft beer evening or a light beer evening?
Both. It was every bit of beer. It was all the good ones.
All the good ones?
All the good ones that I was choosing. It was good times. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Shots were fired overnight Friday just before 2:30 a.m. The accident. This is a developing story. This is Rachel Linnea with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Frobley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Bright sunshine this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 69. Winds out of the north, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows around 46. Tonight, clear skies. Highs level off around 75 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Wednesday, daytime highs approaching 79. 80 Thursday. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 64.
And here come the leaves. Thousands of them falling fast, covering every inch of the yard. But wait, Who's this rushing in? It's the Lawn Johns with the ultimate fall cleanup blitz. From clearing leaves to fresh pine straw and mulch, the Lawn Johns dominate the field, your yard, so you can focus on what matters. Grilling, chilling, and cheering on your team. Don't let leaves sack your game day fun. Call the Lawn Johns today and win the battle of the backyard. The Lawn Johns, your lawn, our game.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy? I was just thinking, I never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And you still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
It is hard to believe that a team could fumble 6 times, could only recover one of them, but it at the same time maybe isn't that hard to believe. I know they call it turnover luck. Man, we don't have any for years. It's going on for years now. Ball's on the ground. There's just a good chance. Don't even look at the TV. There's just a good chance you're not getting it. I will say it was the Edwin Joseph strip, which would have been a first down for Wake, that caused the ball to go backwards and created a 4th down that wouldn't have been. That is kind of an underrated play there. It's a big deal. And it was intentional.
Yes, it was.
Very intentional. It wasn't like a random, my helmet hit the ball. Or no, this is, I'm going to take the ball from you. And he did. And it turned out to be a nice moment because it was intentional. It was the kind of thing you see other teams do that we
all around
the country, Tom. I see it all the time. See it in the National Football League a lot. My God, they have can I go on a tangent here? They have perfected. This is get ready for a hey now. They have perfected ball punching. There is ball punching going on. It is woo.
And the guy who did it first, I don't think it makes it any better, but the alternate name is the peanut punch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know which is the better. I think your option's probably cleaner.
Yeah. The ball punching that goes on in the NFL today is the kind of thing they teach middle-aged women at a self-defense class. It's unbelievable what we're watching out here these days.
Use your hip.
Oh, now this is when you got a chance. Now you got to zero in.
That's right. It's a point of leverage.
You got to punch the ball. There's upward ball punching. There's downward ball punching. There's from behind ball punching. There's from the side ball punching. There's left-handed, right-handed ball punching going on all across the football landscape. They've never been punching more balls than they do these days.
That's right. It's prize fighter level ball punching.
They're going to break their wrists at some point.
And that's what they need to consider at some point, because guys are throwing punches without regard for their arms. That if they miss and they hit somebody in the gut, I don't know.
You can't just be punching people in the
stomach.
stomach.
That kind of needs to be a penalty.
Well, you could make a rule where if you swing, if you're going for the ball punch and you miss the ball and you just end up straight punching a dude in the ribs, we're going to have to call you on that.
Well, yeah, there's a difference between using your fist as a hammer on the way up or the way down to punch the football versus I've seen, it's a Rocky montage.
It's impressive the amount of ball punching going on here.
It's like what Drago did to his sparring partner. You're like, stop it. He's just a communist citizen. He's a regular guy, and you killed him.
Hawaii, I was watching when David Montgomery took a wraparound ball punch yesterday. because I have David Montgomery, and he had precious few yards in the game, and it was his first good run of the game on a 3rd and long. And, well, he had a touchdown run from short, but it's 3rd and long, and he's got this opportunity to get the first, and it's a wraparound ball punch. Ball goes flying. Thanks, David. That hurts. Of course, the other team recovered because it's not FSU. It's so frustrating. I was just,
Well, when Rawls was in position and he's scooping up the football, I thought for sure I was going to see it being kicked around and go out of bounds out of the sideline. But because the camera angle, you're in the stands, but the camera angle, he's kind of shielding the ball with his feet and legs.
And
I'm thinking, there's no way that it's not. There's no way it's not on the grass still. And then he's moving, and the ball's nowhere to be found. So outside of this being a David Blaine magic trick, we have the football.
Yeah,
it is in our possession, and it counts. And then we got the 15, as you talked about earlier.
Yeah, it is something to behold, though. Like that, I really am impressed. Edwin Joseph did the reach in pull. He did the reach in. That wasn't a ball punch. I'm reaching in and taking. That's a cookie jar.
That's reach and rip.
That's a reach rip cookie jar steal right there.
Ouch.
I like it. But yeah, in the NFL, dudes will zero in. They're going, warp speed. The guy they're trying to tackle is 225 pounds, ball of muscle, and they're like taking the time to square it up and jab the football. What do we do? You're going to get run the hell over, my man. What are we doing? It's great. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I would have the patience. Somebody pointed it out here in the chat just a moment ago. But Jacob, I inadvertently saw what you wrote, and that is great. Get ready for the ball punching again this weekend. Well done, Jacob. Well done,
nicely
chat.
done with that. The capitalizing of the words, too.
Yeah, he did. He did a good job with that. Early in the week, I kind of feel like you're right. But well done. But yeah, man, I when I watch it, I think, how do you practice that without breaking your wrist?
Or you don't. Instinct takes over. We are
okay.
It's the 12th round. We're in championship rounds. Got to have it.
It is impressive. People out here ball punching.
I like Justin's comment. Joseph's strip was huge. May have been the only thing I cheered at as I watched the game solemnly, wondering if anything matters anymore. It gave me a little life.
What did he say? Where is this?
He said it's the only thing he cheered about as he watched the game alone.
I like
because he was wondering if anything matters anymore.
Good job, Justin.
But Edwin Joseph proved to him that some things do matter.
that a player came up with intention and made a play.
Or a reach and rip. The old reach and rip matters.
Jack's Taekwondo, I got to tell you, and I'll tell all of you for the final time, it is not orange. Nor are the headphones. It's what happens in the lighting in here, and there's nothing I can do about it. Everybody thinks it is. It's not. Red shows up as orange in here. It's the way it works. I do not know why. It's just the way that I'm shaded by these two giant-ass lights.
If you ever wear that color, ever.
But I'm not. That's the problem. I don't care.
But it looks like it, so it's the same.
Good point, Matthew. James Williams made some plays. James Williams did you all hear me? James Williams made some plays. Matthew, he didn't just hit the quarterback. He caused an interception. He also had a sack.
Yeah, a half.
I mean, I'm going to count it.
All right, we're rounding up.
Yes, I'm counting that sucker. He had a sack and caused a fumble. It happened in the same game.
Do you think agents do that? Well, my client had 9 sacks this year. He had 8.5. No, we round up. We round up at 0.5.
Yeah. There were a lot of things to cheer about on Saturday night. Most notably, Florida State got a win. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
need the plumber quick, how long is an acceptable time to wait?
Hey guys, we really need you over here. My toddler just flushed a whole bunch of toys down the toilet, and everything, and I mean everything, is backing up.
2 hours?
Hey guys, just checking in. The water has reached the hallway now, and it's getting pretty deep. Can you get here anytime soon?
4 hours?
Hey guys, can you please hurry? Now my wiener dog is doing the backstroke over here, and they're not known to be strong swimmers. Hey honey, grab his life jacket.
8 hours?
Oh, so now you're here.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service right when you need it. Our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. And now M&L Plumbing can also be your go-to for all septic tank pump-out services. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing. Your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575-9393, or online at mnlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying, or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Hey, Knoll fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel tip boards and soft tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show, live and local on Real Talk 93.3, WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee. Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Nice win for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They defeat the Raiders on Sunday in overtime, 30-29. Cam Little breaks an NFL record with a 68-yard field goal at the end of the first half. Hit a 48-yarder with 16 seconds to go. That sends the game to overtime. And quarterback Trevor Lawrence had the game-winning sneak in OT that gives the Jaguars the win. They play Houston coming up on Sunday. Looking back at the weekend that was in college football, Florida State ends their 4-game losing streak as they knock off Wake Forest 42-7. Florida playing for the first time under interim head coach Billy Gonzalez, losing to Georgia and Jacksonville 24-20. Central Florida loses to Baylor 30-3, and Miami loses to SMU 26-20. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Here for the Lowe's early Black Friday deals? You're right on time for some of our biggest savings. We're talking up to 50% off select major appliances, plus up to an extra 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Holiday lights going up soon? Select ladders are up to 50% off right now. Get Black Friday prices without the Black Friday crowds. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 11/19. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
It's the season to come together over your holiday favorites at Starbucks. Warm up with a creamy caramel brulee latte. Get festive with an iced gingerbread chai, or share a velvety peppermint mocha. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Can we talk about the most important things in your life? Your family, your friends, your home, and enjoying the time you spend together. You sure don't want to have to think about whether everybody's going to be comfortable. You want Tony Kelly to make sure everybody's comfortable. That's what Tony Kelly does, and that's what's most important for the entire Tony Kelly team. Their prompt, professional service and attention to detail, they're famous for it. Focus on what's most important to you and let Tony Kelly Heating and Air keep everybody comfortable.
Stay comfortable and stay focused on the most important things with Tony Kelly Heating and Air, committed to serving you and your family with exceptional service, skilled technicians, and reliable high-quality work. Go to TonyKellyInc.com to find their full range of HVAC services, including repairs, installations, inspections, and maintenance. TonyKellyInc.com or call 850-385-3774.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon there is one every few weeks. That's why the Seventh Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, Seventh Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The Seventh Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachie Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
YouTube channel. Thanks for doing that as well. You know, Tom, we didn't talk about it in hour number one, and I get it. We're kind of having a reversal of what we normally do here. In hour 3, Ira is going to join us. He is held up today from 1 to 3. So in the third hour, Ira will join us, and we'll get his thoughts on the weekend that was, what it means, and if anything, and Florida State football stuff, Florida State basketball stuff. I'll ask him a bunch of stuff. But that's usually an hour reserved for a lot of our professional talk, a lot of our pro talk, and NFL and Major League Baseball and the NBA and whatever else we get into. But, you know, very quietly, and good for baseball, we may have seen one of the 5 or 6 greatest World Series ever played. Just happened.
Yeah.
20. So you go back through, many people would cite the 1960 World Series. I wasn't alive, but the Pittsburgh Pirates did win it over the New York Yankees. That's the famed Mazeroski walk-off home run in the 9th. The Pirates hit a 3-run home run in the 8th. The Yankees tied it in the 9th. Mazeroski walks it off in the bottom of the 9th. It's game 7. Pirates beat the Yankees 1960. It's still talked about to this day. From there, the next big one that you would go to is, if you're a baseball guy, a lot of people believe 1975. That's the famed Cincinnati Reds, Boston Red Sox 7-game series. Incredible series, all-time best, 7 games, same thing. Now, there are some in between, but I would cite 2001. Yeah, it is 2001. Trying to remember correctly, but that's 2001 Yankees Diamondbacks as greatest series as ever has been played. And not just because of the Game 7 and all the things, but they're the games that series was nuts, all kinds of moments.
Yeah, Mr. November was born.
Yeah. So that series. And then I would say a criminally underrated World Series is the 2011 World Series, which, unfortunate for my buddy, happens to be the Rangers-Cardinals World Series, where you got to kind of catch fly ball and you win the World Series. But alas, that World Series also went 7, and the Cardinals won that one. It was incredible, and all of that. And then this one, and not only that, the fact that you got it to go 7, and then it went extra innings, and Dave Roberts, in essence, more than once, completely plays his guts. And it works. There's no analytic on earth that would have told you to have Rojas in the game. Hasn't had a hit in a year. Sucks, frankly. And you get that. And you get to play at the plate, which is, Rojas again. It's crazy. Defensive replacement in Pages out there running over Kiki Hernandez, because who wasn't going to catch it?
Who wasn't going to catch it?
No. They would have lost the game.
You have the ball in Game 6 go under the wall, which changes the scope of the inning, the feel of it, too. A ground rule double does take a little bit of air out of the building, even though it's a positive play.
Yeah.
It's not as positive as it could be.
Yeah.
It's like somebody stepping out of bounds at the 7 when you think they scored. You're like, oh, well, we got to go from the 7 now.
Of course, it's Will Smith, by the way, who hits the home run. That's my guy. He's unbelievable.
Well, the thing is, unfortunately, I missed all of it except the double play to end it. So by the time the postgame was over, we were signing off, and the whole chat lit up, because people, this is how much it makes a difference. Like what baseball, the rules changes all of it.
People are locked in.
The chat at the end is all about people just talking about the World Series.
Well, it has so many plays. It has the throw to home plate where, upon seeing the replay, you realize that his foot's off of home plate and barely gets back down on it.
Right.
And think about this. If they don't have him playing so close to third, meaning if the runner is, because he's worried about getting line drive doubled up.
Correct.
So that's why he's not another yard or foot closer to home plate. If he is, he scores. So just that fact, now, nothing's wrong with that, but it's just unlucky. I mean, think about it. That's going to be the winning run.
And also, I think, I know what you're taught. I get it. But now that this play has happened and everybody has seen it happen, you might design it so that the on-deck hitter is standing there to catch you. I need you to sprint through home plate. We are not sliding in this situation. You are sprinting. You're not slowing your body down.
Yeah.
I know it's against human nature, and I see some people on social were arguing about head first slide versus foot first slide, which is slower, which is quicker to the plate. Man, I wonder in that situation if you might not just say, I need you to sprint. We will catch you. We have somebody, and you've got plenty of room to the backstop to slow down, but we're going to treat it like first base, and we're not going to do this slide thing, because that ultimately does cost you. It's a lack of a secondary lead, which I understand why.
You have to.
Because the third baseman is close enough to the bag.
It's going to be, yes.
Woo, buddy.
So we had everything. Obviously, I don't root for the team that spends more money than all the other teams to win the World Series, which the Dodgers now have back-to-back years. But it was a really, really, really good World Series. And if you love the sport, it was high drama. I'm not even talking about half the plays great defensive plays, stars being stars and showing up big. If I'm a Dodgers fan today, and I don't wear jerseys, but I'm sending off for my Yamamoto jersey, and I'm going to wear it every day. That dude won the World Series. That SOB won the World Series. And they should love him. They should build a statue to Yamamoto. He's a hero. That's ridiculous. That's like a real life hero. Look at that guy. He's saving cats up in trees. It's ridiculous.
What a difference 80 years makes. Yamamoto is an American hero.
That guy is insane. Well played. He is. That is absolutely absurd what he did after just the night before. That's, if I had been a little bit more prescient, I would have put money. I think it was 14-1. I remember glancing at it on Yamamoto to win the MVP because those were the odds before Game 6. So you could have grabbed him at 14-1 and said to yourself, tell the story. If the Dodgers win the World Series, it's going to be because he wins tonight to force a Game 7. And they had already spoken openly, both managers had, that all bets are off in a World Series game. The guy that pitched yesterday could pitch again today and all of that. And of course that dude came in and shoved. Of course he did.
It's the most helpless feeling in the world. And I don't care if it was the Dodgers who were at home or the Blue Jays or even the Braves. When you see a tailor-made double play ground ball in that situation off the bat, because that's one thing positioning has not changed and spray charts have not changed, is when you play for two, there is a certain look to a ground ball from the play-by-play angle where you go, oh, crap, and you don't say the word crap. And it's just helpless. Of course, it's the catcher, too.
Oh, yeah. No speed
so
whatsoever.
It is the most helpless feeling in the world. It must have been how USC felt playing Boston College all that time ago.
500 yards rushing.
500 rushing yards against. You have no choice. You are being carried somewhere that you don't want to go. And that was what just in time. We had signed off. We had done our recap real quick.
It's brutal.
I turned it on the TV. It's 1st and 3rd. It's 1 out. Oh my God, because it was runner on 3rd and 1 out before I had realized that they got another guy on.
Yeah,
okay, here we go.
Here
1st
we go.
and 3rd.
Let's go. Yeah.
And there it was. Wow.
Well, the helplessness of a hanging slider in the 9th. We were 2 outs away from winning the World Series. Yep. And that cement mixer goes up there, and that dude who hasn't had a hit in a year runs into it, and you're like, that's gone. Okay. That just happened. Like Muncie's, you knew. Like watching Muncie's home run is Titanic, and that's what he does. Yeah. And so he's like, pa-da! You're like, well, that's prodigious. That is out of here. And okay, good. 1-run game, guys. We're all right. But then that, and you're so pissed.
I thought history was going to repeat itself. I thought we were going to get a walk-off World Series winning home run for the Blue Jays. But
alas.
And you know what? It didn't really matter. I thought I'd be rooting harder for the Blue Jays. It didn't matter. It was one of those things that when it's over, you clap, you applaud, because you don't have a dog in the fight.
Right. I didn't clap.
It was a performance for the ages.
It was a great World Series. However, the Dodgers have now won 3 of these in the last 5 years. I'm done watching them win the World Series. You can get the hell up out of here now.
Well, and you need to root for us to spend our money wisely. We got to spend our money a little bit better. We're one of your hopes.
And if they hadn't inexplicably lost in 2018 to the Red Sox, they'd have 4 of these in the last 7 years. Good God. Yeah, man. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. But I did cheer for baseball. That was incredible. Watching that play out in that manner. And by the way, you are right. There's nothing more helpless than seeing tailor-made. Oh, and he's got no chance unless this. You know what it reminded me of? Years ago, and this is true too. It's crazy how this works. But Augie Garrido, the famed Texas coach, college baseball, winner of a multitude of national championships, talked about how it was that he was being asked about Mike Martin and how Mike had come up short, never won the national championship. And I thought it was cool that he brought this story to light. He said, well, every now and again, you got to get really damn lucky. In one of our runs, we were in the bottom of the 9th, and it was a tailor-made double play to the second baseman. The game's going to end. We're going to lose. And the guy that botches it, the second baseman that botches it, was the defensive player of the year. He hadn't made an error all year long, and it's tailor-made, and he F's it up. Next guy gets a double, ties the game. They win in extras. He's like, yeah, man, what are the chances the best defensive player in the country is going to just botch a routine double play ball? You know, we got lucky. We didn't do anything. Put the ball in play, I guess. You know, it's true.
Well, that's where I would ask those who have played the game in that situation, who feels the most pressure? Is it the shortstop to make the play and start it? Is it the second baseman to turn it and fire to first base? Is it the first baseman? Do you have time to think? I just wonder, because you know the game's over when it's in that position. All you have to do is your job, and the game's over. And it's not like something akin to a kick to win a football game, because you got time to consider that. There's less time to consider. You must do your thing. But I just wonder, for those that have played at a high level, maybe that's something we can ask a former Nole. Shortstop, second baseman, first baseman. Who probably the first baseman feels it the most because you got time to see it develop?
Well, but all you got to do is catch the ball, and you don't have to be a good athlete. You don't even have to be a decent athlete to catch a baseball that's thrown right to you. Now, if it's one hopper, it's a little different.
That's the thing, too.
But
you got to gear up. You got to be ready for anything that might be short. Just maybe it's the second baseman who feels it the most because you got to exchange, and then you got to fire, and you don't know if somebody's bearing down on you.
Well, the idea is to do it so much you don't think about it, like you said. I think that's the whole thing. You're just hoping that you don't think about it, because if you do think about it, you're going to throw it into next week. We're going to throw it in next week. You know, was cool to see my man Lakewood High School's own Bo Bichette hit a Titanic 3-run homer.
Yeah, he sure did. And he took his time to admire, as he should.
And he can't really run, so he's got a built-in excuse. He's got a built-in excuse. No, I don't think, it's interesting. If you think of all the times that you've watched a ball go to a infielder to close out a perfect game, or to close out a no-hitter. Have you ever noticed that, I don't know what the statistic is, but it's over 90%, probably over 99%. They make the throw. They don't screw it up. And you see guys like, a pretty hot shot to third, and I've got to throw it to first to complete the perfect game.
Yeah.
It's a hose.
That's something where now that I've seen it a couple of times for my franchise, my first 30 years didn't happen. The harder the play, the easier it is to make, I think, if you get the hard part done of fielding it. So if you've got to stab one from the hot corner, you're not going to frisbee it. I mean, you had to make a great play. You've snapped out of it. But if it's a little roller to, second base, that's got to be the hardest one. You got time. It's on the right side of the diamond. Just don't knob block this thing. That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
But you can't
you got
say
time.
That. Yeah, I think the second you say it, you're dead in the water. You better never say it. It ought to just be muscle memory. I've made this throw 1,000,000 times. You can't even think about it as I've made this throw 1,000,000 times. Just make the throw. Don't say anything in your mind. Easier said than done. Just throw the ball. Throw the ball. No double pats. I only get nervous when I watch a guy pat. I'm like, oh, no, he's thinking about it. Don't think about it.
We had a king of that in New York.
Don't double pat.
Davey was very good, and he won Gold Gloves. But he crow hop and double tap now.
No. I don't need the crow hop or the double tap at all.
Delgado was very good at picking him. Like, well, here we go. Going to need a short hop here.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Hey, everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying, or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansfornoles.com. That is, again, loansfornoles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Noles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansfornoles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansfornoles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark. TSparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark. TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
Here's the cold, hard truth. Your body needs more than you're giving it to stay healthy. And now it's easier than ever with Vigor, the all-new cold plunge tub from Hot Spring Spas. Available only at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Cold plunges reduce muscle soreness, boost mood, improve sleep, and so much more. It's not just a trend, it's science-backed wellness. And now you can have it in your own home. Ready to feel alive again? Pinch a Penny has the exclusive home use solution. Visit us on Capitol Circle Northeast and take the plunge.
From the team behind Mac and More Systems comes IOWise, Tallahassee's trusted source for IT services. Protect your business with 24/7 cybersecurity, managed IT support, cloud storage solutions, network design, voice over IP phone systems, expert tech counseling, and more. Whether your business is growing fast or just getting started, IOWise keeps your systems running smoothly and securely. Local service, big solutions. Visit iowise.com today and work wiser with IOWise.
Moms, we all wish there were two more of us just to get through the day. Packing lunches, preparing snacks, cooking dinners. Well, that's where Fresh from Florida comes in. FreshFromFlorida.com has recipes that can make mealtime quick, easy, and healthy. And shopping for locally grown produce is a snap, too. Just look for the Fresh from Florida logo. When it's almost dinner time and you have to be 3 places at once, go to the one place that counts. FreshFromFlorida.com.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
So do you buy that the, quote, team was trying to build momentum and wanted him to get more work? Those are the words of Commanders coach Dan Quinn. It was a Tom Lang special. If you were up late last night, you watched it. And if you're like me, you're not. You didn't think of Tom, but I did. Because I am friends with Tom and know how much he loathes when a team is being beaten soundly and starters are still in the game. And they were last night. And Jaden Daniels' elbow injury is gross. If you haven't seen it, go watch that in slow-mo. Whoo! Ooh, it's a tough one. Dislocated elbows. Jutting out. Down 31 with, 5 minutes to play? It's a toughie. It's a toughie. Washington Commander fans, I have to tell you that I feel for you more than almost anybody else that would have been in this situation. Because we've all seen the moment that RG3's career ended. And we thought, oh, what once was so special, had an opportunity to be, will never be again, and wasn't. And hence, he is on the internet just commentating and not playing NFL football anymore, despite doing the same thing that Jaden Daniels did, which was win Rookie of the Year. And Jaden Daniels, who I had picked for Rookie of the Year a season ago, is slight. He's not a very big man. He is a very, very skinny man. And so you do worry about the rigors of the National Football League. I on the other hand, would argue not to pile on, but Jaden, why are you running the ball? It's a it's not a designed, run to that spot. It's not a read to that spot. That's the quote, actually. He said, Quinn, if we run it 50 times, he either hands it off or he throws it. He never runs it. So, yeah, quote, that's a bummer. Do you think he held his breath the second he took off? You think he went, whoa, no. What are you doing, my man?
It's a bummer, man.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer as he slowly turns and looks over at sorry-ass Mariota. And he's like, man, here we go. I got to do this. We're going to suck. We already suck. Oh.
Jaden always runs, no matter the situation.
But in that situation, that I watched the play.
I know what Dan is saying, but I'm just saying that LSU played in a lot of meaningless moments because Brian Kelly couldn't win a lot of games with a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and he still runs. That's part of his nature. I am not a Dan Quinn fan. I know he caught everybody's admiration last year, and rightly so. He got them to rally around whatever message he was pitching, and they went for it on fourth down a whole bunch of times, and that's lovable. But the decisions he makes regarding when to go for two, when to go for it on fourth down, he is a ticking time bomb of an awful decision. This is one of a different variety. And yes, it does scratch me where I itch when it comes to things that piss me off. He just got healthy. He just got healthy.
Yeah. This one is a little bit – okay, look, again, they're down 31 points. This game was over at halftime.
And there it is. Hey, you said it, pal. They are down 31. This game was over at halftime.
It was. Now, you're not going to bench them at halftime because crazy things happen. And people come back from down 24 or whatever it is. So that's you're not going to bench him at halftime. Decent way into the fourth quarter, I'm thinking about benching him, admittedly.
You're on a possession. Really, you have your chin check moment in the second half to get a stop and a score and a stop, whatever it is. If you don't, what are we doing, man?
What
are we doing?
Now, you would concede, and I think we've all learned this. This is not a Dan Quinn problem. Or a Todd Bowles problem, because Todd will do it too.
Yeah.
Every coach in the NFL leads their starters in to the bitter end. It is crazy. They never, ever, ever, ever pull their starters.
Yeah, we did it against New Orleans.
I know.
When that game was over in the fourth quarter.
I know.
With that offensive line, too. Well, let's call a run where we bash each other. I'm like, no.
Oh, well,
Russ isn't healthy. The entire right side of the offensive line, I've never heard of. Stop it. Stop it. Please.
Well, the Godwin injury happened at a time where you were furious against Baltimore. But
Baltimore Monday night.
Yeah. At least we were.
He's still hobbling from it.
Well, we were still in contention, though. This is 38.
You know why they don't show him walking in from the parking lot? Because I'm sure he's wheeling in from the parking lot.
No, it's as soon as I saw his elbow shoot sideways out of his arm, I went, oh, Todd's going to have – he's sound asleep. I can't text him, but he's going to have a field day with this one.
We threw a pass downfield to Ibuka when that game was in hand against New Orleans. He's the only one left.
I know.
And he's got a bum hammy. And it's indoor, man, on that type of turf, too. I don't care if it's the NFL level of turf. Stop. Don't do it. Please. I implore you.
That, I don't know why. That the injury itself cannot, again, it can't be an injury that is on our all-time list that we rate. We have the ones, the baseball to the testicles and the bleeding.
Uribe.
No,
Beltran.
Or Beltray, yeah. That was the internal bleeding, if I could say it.
It was a beating, too.
Beating. Those testicles took a beating. And he completed the play. I'll forever admire that. He completed the play.
Yeah, yep.
He stayed in front of it all right.
There's one for old Kaz Matsui.
Oh.
I can't say that. I don't know that I'm allowed to say the first word, but the second one is fissure. So.
A tough one.
That's up there. You got a tear.
Yeah. There was also the game I was at where Charles Johnson, the former catcher of both the Marlins and Orioles, foul ball off the plate, straight up the chute. rang the bell. Rang the bell, and he just fell over. They had to bring out the damn ambulance.
Yeah, well, look, that Washington franchise is cursed because you do have Theismann, you have Alex Smith.
Oh, that's right. Alex's leg.
It was the same play
in the wind.
It was the same look of the play.
That one with Alex Smith, I mean, he almost died.
Yeah, yes, that's correct.
That's a tough one.
Well, and then RG3, because that turf was unplayable and they played on it.
Well, I brought up the RG3 one, yes.
Right. But that's that franchise, and now you got this one. So four monumental quarterback injuries. This one's not potentially not going to cost him his season, apparently. That's what Schefter said this morning, is he might be able to come back, to which I would say, why? They're not going to be in the thick of it. A lot of teams are in the thick of the race of the NFC playoff.
Oh, they're 3-6.
This is not one of those.
Yeah, take your time.
You can let Mariota
go out there and lose those games just as
Mariota
easily
plays quarterback. Does anybody see it?
Oh, man. That is brutal. I would point out also that there's a couple of first-round quarterbacks from this last draft, and you have to wonder if their fans are wondering, did we get this wrong? Total QBR, so take it for what it's worth. You can find other analytics that you like more. That's okay. Go find them. These numbers are going to be ghastly either way. Dylan Gabriel is just ahead of dead-ass last Cam Ward. And Cam Ward has been dreadful. Now, they stink to high heaven, and I'm not going to blame it all on Cam Ward. But there's a couple of fingers to my eyes back to you, Cam. We got to be better than this out here with a 23.7 QBR. Dak Prescott has a 79. Cam Ward's got a 23.7.
Why is Dak catching a stray right now?
He's not. Okay. He's the number one QBR rated player in the league. I'm telling you the variance, the numbers, what you could have if you were very good, and what he has.
That looks like a good contract now, doesn't it?
What's stunning is that Sam Darnold is third, and he had 4 more touchdown passes.
Mm-hmm. That NFC West is a meat grinder, Arizona notwithstanding. The 3 out of the 4 teams are all very, very good teams.
Yeah. Man. See, because I'm thinking if you have a young quarterback, you're like, I don't need you to be great. But you need to be better than, say, Spencer Rattler. You know, can you be better than Spencer Rattler, sorry ass, who just got benched in New Orleans?
Yes, he did.
Can you be better than, say, Tua, who is awful? Can you be better than Bryce Young, who's also not any good?
Hey, big win for Fitzy yesterday.
That's so cool. That's just cool. And it wasn't a nothing field goal. Like it was 48 or whatever.
48 or 49, and the wind was whipping all day.
Yeah.
And it was apparently into the wind, according to the broadcast team. The little orange thingies were not moving too much, but the guys that were in the building said, no, there was a lot of wind in his face for that kick.
Go look at Matthew Stafford's numbers this year for the Rams. You know how we always talk about the Hall of Famers have that second run? He's on his third.
Yes, he is.
He's elite. Elite. Again. It's like 22-1 touchdown interception ratio or 2. It's crazy.
We're going to see them soon. The Bucks' next 3 games are Patriots, Bills, Rams.
Well, Drake May is the 5th highest rated passer in football right now.
Well, he tried to lose that game yesterday.
But he's the 5th highest rated passer in football right now. They've won 6 straight. Dude's good.
He is. And he tried to find a way yesterday. We needed Atlanta to stay in that hole.
But
that turnover before the half is insane. And then that interception he threw to nobody in the second half, it kept Atlanta alive. Thankfully, they couldn't make an extra point.
Well, and they're in shambles. They've got problems on their hands now because you could get a group that checks out. They've already checked out twice.
That game was critical.
That was an important loss.
Come on, New England. Don't be doing this.
Well, they won.
It was all right at the end. But now Carolina's over 500. That's a legit win.
Yeah.
They're playing New Orleans this week. They're looking at 6-4.
Well, they'll be 6-4, but boy, it's an ugly 6-4. As for me, 6-7 in the 13 picks that I had over the weekend. Not good.
Oh, okay.
So we got the Air Force minus 1.5, L over L. Coastal plus 6.5 against Marshall, W. Pitt over Stanford, 14.5, won by 15. There we go, Pitt. Narduzzi's my guy. That's a dub. Tulane minus 5.5, UTSA, that's an L. Notre Dame decided to sleepwalk against Boston College. Didn't cover. That's an L. North Carolina under against Syracuse with a big dub. And Fran Brown loses another one, this time to sorry-ass North Carolina.
Really? North Carolina? I had no idea.
Dominated.
Huh.
Dominated. It's Belichick's first ACC win.
Chapel Bill is back.
They've been trending in the right direction lately. They lost, by a point to Virginia, who's pretty good, and been in it. Yeah. So anyway, I got the W there for the under. Two dreadful offenses. Indiana and Maryland over 50.5. Of course it was. You knew Indiana was going to get there. That's a dub. Florida plus 7.5 against Georgia.
Nice win.
Thank you.
Had it the whole way.
There we go,
Nice
buddy.
job, Stockton.
I get the W there, buddy.
But he split on the over. So either way.
Yeah. Split on the over. Georgia Tech minus 5.5. They give up 48 points to NC State. What are we out here doing? Giving up 48 points to NC State. Got the Oklahoma, Tennessee under, barely. And the NFL was a loss because Baltimore and Miami. I had given the points with Baltimore, I think it was. And
it was total.
Total, that's right.
And I think they hit 38 because Baltimore knew it could go chill.
Well, Miami couldn't, get a first down in the second half.
Yeah.
I should know better. I got to leave the Dolphins off my list.
Unless you're picking
anybody that's, you can't have the Dolphins on your list. They're just going to disappoint you like they do Dolphins fans all the time. Just constantly. At least they fired Greer. Now they got to fire the other guy. Hey, the owner won't fire himself. Listen, just by definition, he'll be dead soon.
Who's that?
The owner of the Dolphins.
Oh.
You just have to hope that, all right.
By some definition, we all will be.
Well, of course,
but it's the history of time.
But if you're in your 80s, you're a little closer to it in all likelihood.
So, spy in Miami's remaining schedule. One would imagine, as long as they haven't totally quit on the season,
I think they have.
That they'll beat Syracuse next week, right? Syracuse won't do it a second time.
You're talking about the Hurricanes.
Yeah, the Hurricanes.
I thought you were about the Miami Dolphins.
No. You don't think Syracuse goes on the road and faces a second team that's quitting in live time?
No.
Okay.
No.
They do host NC State the week after.
Yeah, they'll beat NC State.
Okay.
There got to be – listen, Mario Cristobal, 4-9 in November. What did I tell you earlier today? I think it's his sixth loss as a double-digit favorite, and he's only been in Miami. This is his fourth year, right? So, I mean, it's bad. It's bad. It's gotten to the point where we call it Cristobaling. Used to be Clemsoning. Now it's Cristobaling. The Cristobaling is the thing. This is a roster that is one of the most expensive rosters in the sport. They paid $4 million for the quarterback. A quarterback whom I might point out, after every time they lose, rips his teammates and coaches. Not a good look.
Can kind of see why they let him go in Athens.
Yeah, just kind of not a good look, my man. You're going to have to take some ownership of this stuff.
Well, they're going to play NC State at home, which is probably worse for them because there's going to be 10 people there. So they're not going to have any natural energy. Where if they went on the road to face NC State, you would have that energy from the other side. The I stand here facing adversity energy. Instead, 50 people are going to watch that game. It's a 3:30 kick. And then they do travel to Pitt, the final game of the season.
Well, that's the game. I mean, that's the game. Pitt's good. Pitt's like legit good. And since they made the change to the quarterback who whooped our ass, they haven't lost.
They better be careful, though, and not lose to NC State, or else they're looking at 4-4 in the ACC, staring that dead in the face.
That's what I was saying earlier in the show. Georgia Tech, Pitt, Virginia, Duke. These games, this is what's good for college football right now is the same thing that I'm telling you about the ACC, how wide open it is. We have no idea who's going to be playing in that championship game. We think I got an educated guess, but I mean, it's hard to know week to week who's going to beat whom. Big 12, who's winning the Big 12? Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows right now as we sit here today? It's crazy. The American. I don't know who's going to win the American. I know none of you were thinking about it. I do. It causes consternation.
I always think about it.
I'd like to know. So there's that. But these things are wide the hell open right now. To some degree, so is the SEC. That's good. I mean, that's good for the sport, I would think. It also shapes the way you view. This is my continued conversation with you and everybody else. Yeah, I want to move on from Mike. Yes, I believe we should have already fired Mike Norvell. However,
oh no.
No.
You've gone to the other side.
No. I said, however, that forces you to have the second part of the conversation, which is how in the world are you going to figure out in a time where coaches across the board, even those that are firmly established, are struggling to find consistency of performance Saturday over Saturday? There are very few exceptions. You watch even the good teams have weekends now where you go, it's just much more frequent than it used to be. Where did you watch Michigan?
No.
Well, they barely beat sorry-ass Purdue 21-16. And that ain't a good look for a lot of reasons. But moreover, this is on the heels of them having won the national championship or the invitational and then losing 5 games, right? So they're invested. A lot of 5-stars there on that roster. Whole lot of NIL spending on that roster. And a whole lot of average-ass football, which has been played post Harbaugh leaving and the cheating scandal and everything else, right? So Ohio State's consistent and gets better every week seemingly, or at least looks good enough to get the job done. Dominant is not what dominant used to be when you look around.
Yep.
Really, the only team that looks dominant so far this year is Indiana.
Yes.
Go figure.
They are. Yeah, you can't set a number large enough for them right now. And that's impressive.
It's very impressive.
Because they could sleepwalk to a 17-point win. They choose not to. They're making a choice.
He has buy-in. He's got crazy buy-in. I would give BYU more credit out of the Big 12 for being undefeated, and they've won 8 straight games and all that, except for they've played one team in the top 25. So what am I going to do with it?
Still, by default, you have to give those teams more credit than you used to.
I agree.
Because of the margin. It's a lot smaller.
I mean, even Utah, who dispatched of Cincinnati with ease, and that was a ranked Cincinnati team, but Utah has 2 conference losses. They've tripped over themselves this year, and Whittingham's a great coach. He's a great coach.
Well, yeah, the committee's got a tough gig this year. I think they'll default to just throwing SEC and Big Ten teams into the field. But while I understand you take a look at out-of-conference and Power 4 out-of-conference records, the SEC will come up smelling like roses in that situation. But you've got some obvious examples of how Miami handles Florida much better than Georgia handles Florida, how Florida State in a random weekend can rise up and do something to Alabama that nobody does. At least since.
Yeah.
And we are the dregs. We got to win this week. That's great, but we are still a bottom feeder in the ACC. This is an absolutely wild season, and that makes, I believe, for a very fun weekend when you get to rivalry weekend after Thanksgiving. Because you've got Georgia Tech and Georgia the day after Thanksgiving. It's on Black Friday. It's a 3:30 kick.
Well, that game was the game of the year last year.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a game. Still pissed that Georgia Tech choked that away. But now I'm nervous because looking at Georgia Tech's defense this past weekend.
That got their attention.
What are we doing out here, my man?
That got their attention.
What are we doing? It's a weird place to be in when you're searching for a coach. Is what I'm saying. It doesn't mean we don't need to be in that position. We do. But I'm not seeing this great consistency from the better teams in college football whose coaching candidates you might look at. Even my guy Summerall at Tulane just got housed by UTSA, who the week before got blown out and was 3-4 coming into the game. That shouldn't happen. That ought not happen. It's happening more and more.
It is. The hard part for us, and we're hoping that is for Florida State, that this changes on the fly. But we have been consistent. Oh, we had an outlier result this past weekend until it's not an outlier anymore. You hope that you get on the flight and go up there and beat the tar out of Clemson and go, whoa, well.
That would be a stunning result.
That's different. But as it stands right now, we just had our Cal win, albeit a lot more impressive than last year's Cal win. That was not impressive at all. This one was.
Indiana's wins, by the way, just so you know, they're undefeated. Started the season slow, kind of going through the motions, 27-14 over Old Dominion. From there, They won 56-9, 73-0, 63-10, 20-15 on the road at Iowa. Good road win. Tough defense. 30-20 over Oregon at Oregon. Ass-hammered Michigan State, beat UCLA 56-6, and just beat Maryland 55-10. They've got Penn State this weekend, followed by Wisconsin and Purdue. The at Penn State game is the one you're going to need to. I mean, Penn State, they fought. They fought against Ohio State for a time. They did. They fought.
They played hard.
They fought. But you're going to kill Wisconsin. You're going to beat Purdue soundly. They're in the playoff.
Yeah, they could be.
Well, they could lose to Penn State, and they're in the playoff.
They play Ohio State for the number 1 seed in the playoff, in the Big Ten championship. That's what this is ambling towards.
Yeah, it's cool. Nice use of ambling. Yeah, that should be fun. Should be noted, since we talked about it a lot, and I know we got to go to break. Nebraska did indeed not beat USC, and Matt Rule's Cornhuskers team is not making strides. They are 3-3 in a conference. They're making strides.
They're staring at 1-3 after the extension. I'm telling you, this is where we're going.
Well, the tough part for them is that their quarterback broke his leg. Broken fibula. Ooh. So with a broken fibula, Raiola cannot try to perfectly imitate Mahomes and annoy us anymore. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
1 person is dead and 4 others are hurt in Gretna and... Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Bright sunshine expected this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 69. Northerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, lows dip down to about 44. Tomorrow, high temperatures reach up to 75. Daytime highs approaching 79 Wednesday under clear skies. 80 Thursday. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 65.
And here come the leaves. Thousands of them falling fast, covering every inch of the yard. But wait, who's this rushing in? It's the Lawn Johns with the ultimate fall cleanup blitz. From clearing leaves to fresh pine straw and mulch, the Lawn Johns dominate the field, your yard, so you can focus on what matters. Grilling, chilling, and cheering on your team. Don't let leaves sack your game day fun. Call the Lawn Johns today and win the battle of the backyard. The Lawn Johns, your lawn, our game.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy? I was just thinking, I never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood. Oh, good days. So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played. Kind of like the bikes we built. Correct, yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played. And you still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Jonesy, thanks for stopping by over the weekend, and thanks for your contribution on the show today. Jonesy1323 says, was a pleasure meeting you both and getting a pick before the game at the Indigo. Made the homecoming trip from Nebraska complete. Thanks again. Go Knowles. Yeah, I asked him, is it Conrad, Nebraska? Kennard?
Oh,
Kennard?
something like that. It's 3 hours west of Omaha.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
He all but told us that it was in the middle.
We said, did you find peace out there?
I said, you must have fallen in love with it. He's like, I don't know about all that. All right. It was a pleasure to meet you too. Never lose your nerd. Excellent weekend for me. The Noles and Rams dominated. Glad I didn't bet Wake to cover. I went to high school with Norvell and really want him to stay. Oh, okay. I like that we won the game.
Did he shout at all the teachers when he was in the hallway? Good morning, Mr. Wilson. I'll bet he did.
I hope not. And then we have a new member, and thank you to, I can't read that, something Gamer.
Gamer 12.
You agreed. All right. So that's what we have, and I appreciate that. I don't know. I'm going to think about this. Muddy Guns. Who are we going to get? Why blow this up right before the miracle turnaround? That is funny. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know what to make. Ira's going to join us next hour. I do want his thoughts on this, what to make of the players, seemingly, I don't know about all, but the ones who certainly had a mic in front of them, coming to Mike's defense. When I hear that stuff, I'm often, in my head thinking, well, you could have played better, so he wouldn't be in this position if you love him so much. For all the undying and unwavering support you have of Mike, try not to lose at Stanford. Then maybe the big bad media isn't talking about how it is that the coach who's lost 9 straight ACC games prior to Saturday night need not be employed here. That's all. It's a little frustrating. As far as what it means, I don't know what it means. Other than to say I think Mike is a good guy. And I think Mike does care. I think Mike has worked extremely hard. And I think he does try to do what's best for the players. So is it surprising that maybe they would have his back when asked about it, or when asked about, what Mike gives on a daily basis? They would point out that he, he's there, he's consistent, he tries hard, he's all those things. No, that doesn't surprise me, because I've said that before on the air. I think that Mike is consistent in his approach to the work. Getting the job done is a whole nother thing and a different discussion altogether. But I think, he's certainly been a guy that's working hard and doing all the things that you would like your coach to do when he's paid $10 million a year, meaning get there early, stay late, do everything in your power to put a team in a position to succeed. Now, we judge based on the results of the games, not those things. Those things are those things. You have to have that bare minimum. In my opinion, you have to have that bare minimum. That comes with the salary. That comes with being handsomely paid for the job. You're not a volunteer. You make a lot of money. Therefore, I'm going to guess that your work ethic is exemplary. We'd better be. And that you're doing everything you can to, for lack of a better term, earn that paycheck. I mean, you've got to. That's what requires of you to pour yourself into the job. And I appreciate that, because not everybody has. And I appreciate that. But again, it doesn't mean that we can't make a move when you fail at your job. So that's how this works.
Yeah, you're in the position of, on a Victory Monday, sounding like the negative person, but the problem is the truth. 2 wins in the conference, in this conference, in a long time. Season in 5 games. I hope it's 3 wins in the conference after this upcoming weekend, and then 4 wins after beating
our roll.
Virginia Tech it's a 7:30 kickoff against Virginia Tech.
Aren't they all, Tom?
They are.
Aren't they all late night games?
Got another primetime game the following Friday at NC State. There you go. And then who knows? I'm sure the Gainesville game will be
10 p.m.
That's right. 10 p.m. SEC Network special presentation. Yeah. They really want to capture that West Coast audience. That's what we're looking at here. Just keep on winning in the interim. And then hopefully we have a plan that is executed here at the end of the year. But it's a nice moment. Like that's a nice thing. You were in the stadium. You could tell me better. How'd the fans do? I feel like the low point might have been the punt in the first quarter. That probably would have been where the smattering of boos could have happened. But beyond that,
just a smattering, nothing.
Because it was a homecoming crowd. You weren't losing yet.
Yeah,
and we ended up never trailing.
Right, that helps. Had that gotten to be 14-0 Wake, that would have been an ugly scene, but it wasn't. And I'm glad they won. I'm glad that the kids showed up, played hard. Glad that they were able to get a win. Final hour forthcoming. Ira Schoffel, Warchant.com will join us in the hour. Stay with. Fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Budget Blinds of Tallahassee is your local window covering experts. They do it all: blinds, shades, drapery, shutters, even home automation. And they'll be there with you from the design to the measuring to the installation. Budget Blinds is with you every step of the way.
Hello, I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Let us help you with your unique window treatment needs. Call us at 668-4835 for a free in-home consultation or find us online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Tired of spending money on bug spray and inhaling all those fumes every time you want to go outside? Treat your yard so you can stop spraying your kids.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control has a solution to this persistent problem. Paul's has a program which seeks the grounds, flower bed, and shrubs. Paul's controls pesky mosquitoes year-round, which means you can take back control of your yard. Not only are mosquitoes a physical irritation, they also pose a potential health risk to people and pets. With Paul's targeted techniques, you can rest assured that your yard will be protected and your afternoons will stay fun.
Take back your yard. Don't let mosquitoes interrupt the fun. For more information, go to callpauls.com. For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Pauls. We'll get them all.
Pauls can help eliminate fire ants from your lawn, too. We'll help you take your yard back.
Your gutters aren't going to clean themselves, and this October is your one shot to get it done free. Call Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing before the month runs out, and your gutter cleaning costs you absolutely nothing. No obligation, no purchase. Just clean gutters before the next storm rolls in. But hurry, October is ticking away. Go now to guttersolutions.net. That's guttersolutions.net. Or call today. Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing. With us, it's personal.
Tired of watching baseball score updates on your phone? Get off the bench and head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is your home for all MLB games in-state or nationwide. Enjoy the coldest drinks, Tallahassee's best wings, and watch your team in crystal clear comfort. And if you like to compete, come by Tuesday nights for CP Trivia and Thursday nights for Beer Bingo, where you can walk home with cold, hard cash. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
WVFT Gretna, Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. More of the Jeff Cameron Show is coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
College basketball season opens up, and the Florida Gators are 3.5-point favorites against the Arizona Cardinals at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, 163.5. The total, the Gators, number 3 in the national rankings, Arizona, number 13. Florida Gators laying 3.5 Saturday in Lexington against Kentucky, 45.5 the total at Kroger Field. Florida State coming off their dominating win over Wake Forest, a 1.5 road dog at Clemson on Saturday. And Thursday night, South Florida laying 13.5 at home at UTSA. The Jaguars with an overtime win over the Raiders. They're a 1.5 dog this week at Houston. Score $500 in rewards with the GBank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at vsin.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
At Bank of America, we asked our teammates, what makes this company a great place to work?
There's very little that you can't accomplish working for Bank of America.
If you prove yourself, you can try over in a totally new way.
You can learn so much here. You're the owner of your career.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
See Nice Tire and Auto Service at 4792 Bluntstown Highway today. The ASE trained technicians at Nice take the guesswork out of fixing your car. That's why wherever you see the Goodyear sign, you'll find what you want in tires and service. From preventative maintenance to a major overhaul and everything in between, you name it. Plus, Nice's services are backed by a nationwide limited warranty. Stop by Nice Tire and Auto Service. 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
Did you know that the survivability of a metal roof far exceeds that of a traditional shingle roof? At Metal Roofing Sales of Tallahassee, we have new state-of-the-art roll formers that produce the highest quality Versa panel, PBR panel, and standing seam options. And we will guarantee to match or beat any local competitor's pricing. We're a family-owned business, ready to offer you the best sales and installation service in the area. And don't forget about our veterans and first responders discounts. Call Metal Roofing Sales today, 850-536-9123, or visit us online at metalroofingsales.net.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
a Sport Local, only locally owned and operated radio station in Tallahassee. Also, I would say thanks to all of you listening on Warchant TV, watching on Warchant TV as well. Ira normally joins us in the second hour. He's going to join us here in about 9 minutes or so. We'll get him on the horn and get his thoughts on where Florida State's at. Obviously, Noles get the win. A much-needed victory on Saturday night. I didn't ask you, Tom, and I will here because we're on the subject of a Florida State win in the ACC. A resounding one at that. But a late-night game. Did you have a large turnout for the post-game that you and Gene conducted, and what was the mood beyond happy or relieved that we won a game in the ACC?
Yes, to the first question. I think our concurrent was around 4,500 across the multimedia footprint, that's a solid number. And the YouTube audience was right around 2K.
Okay.
That's, again, a very solid number, especially given the circumstances.
Late night, buddy.
It was. People, I think we tried to set the tone of saying, look, I think we started around 10:40. We started a little earlier, about 4 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, you had a thorough whooping.
We knew that people were going to be doing other things, so we wanted to get your attention before that point. And it was, I think, 11:15. No negativity or big picture stuff until 11:15. Let's have a half an hour, a little bit more to celebrate what this was for people like Sam Singleton, who played a great game, and Deuce Robinson and James Williams and Jabril Rawls recovering a fumble for Florida State.
Hey!
Let's note all these things. And so we did. And there was a decent amount of back and forth in the chat. Director Nick can tell you better than me, of people having the big picture talk about this is nice and all. But I think for the most part, everybody just we took a lap around the block. We just walked outside. We breathed some air. We exhaled. We said, all right, we don't need to talk about that right here, right now, tonight. Let's just enjoy this for what it was, which was an ACC victory, number one, and a resounding one, number two.
It's tough because you don't want to be negative after a 42-7 win. And at the same time, you don't want to embrace some delusional view of what this means.
Yeah, and I think negative might have been, we used that word a bunch, but what I was trying to go for was macro. There's no need to go macro here. Let's just enjoy the micro. This is a post-game show, not a post-era show, or you know what I mean? That's what it felt like, and we had fun with it. In fact, we had to abort towards the end because I got a little tongue twisted after a couple of post-game beverages on the air.
So. And you recognized it was time to go.
I believe I said Corey Columns Clark instead of Corey Clark's column is coming up on the site. I was like, whoop. All right, everybody. That's it. Gonna have a good night.
We're done here. And then you get to go watch the end of the World Series.
Yes, the double play. I got to see about 4 pitches and then the double play.
You ought to go back if you get a chance and just at the very least, Tom, for your own trip down memory lane later on. If you document now, if you watch the condensed game, you'll know all the plays. You'll know the biggest. There's just 19 of them. They're all amazing. There's so many moments where oh my God, I can't believe that happened. And thankfully in the modern era, you can do that. You can, at the very least, when you miss something of great importance in the sports world, go catch it in its condensed form. There's a version for 14 minutes. There's a 38-minute version that I would engage in if I were you. I went back because I needed to see a couple plays and remind myself what inning that happened in. There were so many are you kidding me moments from that World Series and Game 7 in particular. Yeah, it was funny because I did embrace the joy of winning a football game, and a lopsided one at that. I did embrace being in Doak Campbell Stadium, which is always nice. It was a lovely, cool evening. Got to wear the sweatshirt to a game. We don't often get to do that. You know how it is around Halloween. Anytime Halloween rolls around, you could have 87 and humid. You could have 32 and cold. It could be weird around Halloween. So the fact that we had something nice, that was good. That was good. We had something nice we could all enjoy together. Cool weather and a big ACC. Okay, an ACC win. I won't say big. An ACC win.
It seems a little bit more balmy. Now, I understand that you're in a much more crowded area. You were in the stadium, but we were out there Friday night. I joined you for a high school affair.
Yeah.
That was colder, I think, than
That's because
Saturday.
that was that damp-ass cold, man. That's that humid, damp cold. Where you're like, man.
Your dad was not having it.
No.
In the stands because the third quarter took a little bit more than the 12 minutes.
Well, there was a lot of reasons for that.
There's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he said some things as he was grinding his teeth, and I was like, man, I hear you.
Yeah.
That's cold.
Well, they're having an hour-long conversation about a play that doesn't matter in a 20-point game. You're kind of like, really?
Also, I
have that discussion.
I see what you're talking about with the high school kids. Everybody's hurt at
all
times.
the time. Get off the ground.
We've turned into FIFA.
It's unbelievable, man. And it's every game I go to. I'm like, get up. You're not injured. Your feelings may be hurt. You may have temporarily experienced some discomfort. You can go ahead and run to the sideline and, rub your leg or whatever you got to do to feel better. We don't need to lay on the ground for 10 minutes. Kids, if you're listening to me and you play high school football or high school sports, get up. Unless something's broken or torn to pieces, even then, I'd think about trying hard to get up. Get up. Get up. Laying there, performative, trying to get look at me sympathy points. It's got to stop. It's plague. Stop it.
Yeah, it is the performative thing. And I hesitate. You are not afraid to call that out in real time at any level? I tend to hesitate because what if the dude actually does have a ruptured this or that?
Well, what if?
However, having seen it with my own eyes, ooh, man, really? And there he is, a brisk jog to the sideline after a 5-minute break.
7 minutes of laying there. No reason for it. Oh, it's a toughie. It's hard to accept. And, I just want that's a message, just a PSA out there to whom it may concern. Get up and get off the field.
Also, low-key, one of the best, this is SportsCenter commercials. There are so many other ones with mascots and famous people.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, there is a famous person. It was somebody on the American soccer team. But John Anderson clips something, and he goes down, and he's screaming in agony in the hallways, and nobody pays attention to him. So he looks around, and he just gets up because nobody paid
attention to him. Yeah, I know. I feel bad for the team doctors in high school sports because they have to jog out there constantly for a kid who's not hurt at all. And they know it. You can see it, the look on their face like, he's not hurt, but I'm not doing my job if I don't go out there. So
if they can dodge effectively the keg size belly of some of the officials too that are there.
Not speedsters. Not speedsters that are attempting to ref these games at the high school level. It's tough, Tom. It's tough. Not a big budget. Not a big budget. It's just like that's why I say with all the other stuff, I can leave it alone. You can get up. You can get up. You're all right. That's something that you should teach your kids when they're little anyhow. Like my kids would fall in the driveway. Concrete's undefeated. Get up. Get up.
Well, that's an important 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Is when your little child, or if it's not yours, it's my niece or my nephew, when they fall down,
get up.
They look to you for what comes next.
Yeah, you don't go running over there. You're fine.
If you go,
no,
that's it.
You can't do it.
There's your next 15 minutes.
Get up. Get the hell up. That's what you got to do. I'll break early because we're going to have Ira on here in just a second. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Welcome to Fen Chiropractic. What in the world happened to you?
Well, it was Thanksgiving, and it started out normal. We had deep-fried turkey, lukewarm beer, and a political debate that escalated into a deviled egg fight. Then Cousin Darryl said the Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl. And boom, there's folding chairs flying. Somebody tried to suplex Uncle Roy right through the buffet table.
Oh, my Lord.
Then Grandma pulled out her old wrestling belt and said, let's settle this in the yard. That's when Hank stepped in. Hanky Panky, my emotional support alligator. He tail whipped the potato salad in the neighbor's yard and stared down my brother-in-law to stop the yelling, and then he calmly slid into the hot tub like nothing happened.
So, how did you get hurt?
I got hurt when I tried to high-five Hank. I slipped on a gravy boat and I landed on a lawn gnome.
Family drama, holiday injuries, or gator-related back pain? Get adjusted at Fen Chiropractic. Visit fenchiro.com. That's FENNCHIRO.com.
Just like family, your chiropractor loves you and there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Game day in Tallahassee starts with energy, and nothing fuels that spirit like Grassroots Coffee brand new End Zone Blend.
That's right. Every cup of End Zone Blend doesn't just taste incredible. It also supports our Florida State Seminoles football program.
Grassroots Coffee knows it's about commitment and being all in. Every sip of End Zone Blend helps push the program forward, supporting the grind and the climb.
So whether you're at home, have a business, or just getting fired up before kickoff, make End Zone Blend part of your game plan.
Support local and our favorite coffee roaster. Order Grassroots Coffee's End Zone Blend today at grassrootscoffee.com. And let's keep driving the Noles to victory.
It's that easy. Drink Grassroots Coffee and help support the Florida State Seminoles. And don't forget, you can get 15% off your first order at grassrootscoffee.com.
Grassroots Coffee's brand new End Zone blend.
Grassroots Coffee.
Made for everyone.
Loved everywhere.
Hi, Chris Kraft with Kraft Nissan. Are you looking for reliability and quality in your next car? Listen to this. J.D. Power is to the auto industry what the Academy Awards are to Hollywood. So J.D. Power published the 2025 report, and Nissan was number one in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands. Let me say that again. Nissan was number one in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands, with Nissan Murano tops for reliability in the midsize SUV category, and Nissan Kicks taking the top spot for reliability in the small SUV category. And in the all-important quality and reliability ratings, which measures the car's dependability for years down the road, both Nissan Sentra and Altima lead the pack. We did our usual. We called the factory and said we want our customers to get extra incentives to buy our award-winning vehicles. So Kraft Nissan is extending the 0% financing for 60 months on our top-rated 2025 SUVs, Rogue, Murano, and Pathfinder. But hurry, as the last of the 2025s are going fast. Only at Kraft Nissan, Tallahassee.
November 10th, 1919. The first Armistice Day is observed following the cessation of hostilities on the western fronts of World War I. Later known as Remembrance Day, in 1954, the United States Congress established a national holiday to be observed each year on November 11th, to honor all of our nation's veterans for their service and devotion. This Veterans Day, New South Roofing will join with Americans here and across the world as together we honor our nation's veterans with parades, ceremonies, and prayerful gatherings, as we give thanks for our nation's veterans and their loved ones, for their willingness to stand in defense of our freedom and the liberty of our nation. From New South Roofing, online at newsouthroofing.com, or call 806-639-7663.
The Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I was laughing because I went back and looked at, you guys saw over the weekend, Hugh Freeze was fired after going 6-7, 5-7, currently 4-5 at Auburn. 15-19, robust record at Auburn. 6-16 in the SEC. They said no mas after scoring 3 points against Kentucky. That'll hurt your feelings. And they fired him. But I wanted to go down memory lane real quick, and so I did, and went back and looked at his time at Ole Miss and Liberty and Auburn. And when you do the wiki look at the personal life of one Hugh Freeze, have yourself a good time. We forget what a scumbag Hugh Freeze is. But go ahead. Go find it because you'll laugh. It wasn't just the calls to the escort services.
That was the 813.
That was the 813 indeed. Den of iniquity is Tampa, kids. It can get you in trouble or whatever you need. That said, there's stuff that happens afterwards when he's at Liberty and he's direct messaging girls. Oh, but he was mad at God. Yes. Anyhow, just fun. You'll have a blast with it. Go ahead. Go enjoy yourself. It's good times. Ira Schoffel, Warchant.com. This isn't the greatest intro. I just wanted to alert you to the fact that the Hugh Freeze documented timeline is worth your time. Hello, Ira. How are you, brother?
I'm good. You know, the best thing about Hugh Freeze and in Auburn's pursuit of victories is, you know, that's a guy when he was at when he had to leave Ole Miss and when he was at Liberty, people said nobody in the SEC would ever hire him again. And then Auburn's like, you know what? We want to win. We don't care. We'll give him money. We'll bring him in. We don't mind. And then you still end up losing.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks, man. There's no guarantees in this game. And if you lay in bed with, those kinds of people and you still don't win, it's not a good thing.
Right. It's the only thing worse than the not winning is the not winning with somebody like Hugh Freeze, who you openly sold your soul for. Right. We are seeing, Ira, we saw a win on Saturday night, a 42-7 win at that, and that was a breath of fresh air. It cleansed the palate, if you will. It was nice to see. But I was noting earlier on the big picture discussion, because this is what happens now, is it's hard to, other than having that fleeting moment of, hey, it was cool to win a game that we played in the ACC. It was nice to be inside Doak on Saturday night and to see that play out. But what instantly happens is, for most fans at this point, because of the losses, is you start you pivot to the big picture, and it gets increasingly murky because you're not really seeing domination anywhere, and you are seeing wild inconsistency. Like, you watch a team that has a stretch of 2 or 3 great games and you think you know them, and then they have this game where they lay an egg and they're awful and they lose to somebody terribly that isn't any good, and you can't get a sense of it. I was citing the Summerall game from a Thursday night, I think it was, when they got blown out by UTSA. Our guy at UTSA, Ira,
he did it.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that nobody could see that coming, right? Tulane was dominant going into that game. There was no reason to see a 3-4 UTSA team up by 30 at one point in that game like that. And Summerall's a good coach. There is a talent dispersion now that makes the consistency thing very, very difficult, which I think muddies the water in the conversation a little bit about what you do, when you do it, who do you get, all of it. It's a crazy time in college football.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, we put so much on wins and losses, and that's what matters. That's why you play the game. I get it. But again, you look at Virginia. I know Corey was talking about this a little bit on Wake Up Warchant today, but Virginia's had some fluky wins. Alabama's win over Georgia was fluky. I mean, the Georgia Tech's had fluky wins, and then they go and lose to NC State. I mean, it's just it is a wild sport. And what I don't like is that sometimes a team like Virginia, it's number 12 in the country now, that has won all these games. They've won all these close games, which is good for them. They had lost a lot of them over the last few years under Tony Elliott, but it doesn't, he's going to get a huge extension and a huge raise and a BACC Coach of the Year, which is great. But they were on the verge of losing a bunch of these games. They very well could have and should have lost to Florida State, and everybody wants that guy fired. So it is a crazy time. But the thing, again, when you're at a school like Florida State, the challenge is you don't want to be one of the murky in the middle. You want to be an elite team, and Florida State obviously is right smack in the middle of all these other teams that can beat each other.
What's weird is just big picture conversation, still staying on that subject matter. The ACC. I mean, Ira, these are the conference records of Virginia. I'll give it to you here, trying to figure out who's going to be in the ACC championship game. Virginia's 5-0 in the ACC currently. Georgia Tech's 5-1. Pitt's 5-1. Louisville's 4-1. SMU is 4-1. Duke is 4-1. Now those win-loss records in terms of the playoff. SMU's not going to the playoff. They're 6-3 unless they win the ACC. Duke's not going to the playoff unless they win the ACC. They're 5-3. At this juncture, it doesn't look like Miami is going to the playoffs unless they win the ACC, and they need a lot of things to happen to even have a chance at it. It's crazy trying to figure out between Virginia, Georgia Tech, Pitt, and Louisville who's going to win this conference, how many teams are going to go from the ACC. It could just be a one-bid league because you have a bunch of losses and weird games. Like Pitt, 7-2. I think they're good, but they already got 2 losses. They got to win the conference. This is a weird year, even within the weirdest of years that we've seen in college football for some time.
And the fact that Virginia is undefeated in the conference, but they actually lost to an ACC team. They lost to NC State in a non-conference game. It is ridiculous. And to say that, I mean, I that is the fear that the ACC only gets one bid. On the flip side, they got to take teams from somewhere, and there's a lot of these teams that have a lot of losses. I mean, there's not a lot of unblemished or one-loss teams out there. They got to find 12 of them, and again, so that maybe that's what you cling to if you're Miami, is that you say, okay, they're not going to get to the ACC championship game, but maybe there's a chance if they start to look dominant, people say, okay, well, they had a bad 2-week stretch or 2-game stretch. But other than that, yeah, man, there's not going to be a lot of great resumes, I don't think, come the end of November.
There's, I think, 4 remaining undefeated teams. That's it. That's all we got, 4. And 2 of them are in the Big Ten. That's Ohio State and Indiana. And Indiana, by the way, is a perfect snapshot in time of what college football is. Indiana is 8-0 or 9-0 now and 6-0 in the Big Ten, and they beat people's ass by 50 every week. Indiana. Our guy Siggs is unequivocally the best coach in college football history, buddy. Right here, right now, he's the guy. It's crazy.
It's incredible. I turned on part of the Maryland game. I was like, okay, maybe this is the one. Maybe Maryland wakes up and this is the one. And it's like, oh no, that guy's getting fired. He got blown out by Indiana.
Yeah, Loxley's getting fired is right. Let me take you to Florida State very quickly. Does it mean anything that they beat Wake Forest 42-7?
At Stanford and at home to Wake Forest on homecoming, that could have been the end of the road. Winning the game doesn't salvage everything, doesn't make everything okay, but it pushes it down. If you play well against Clemson, and if you come back home and beat Virginia Tech, this may end up being a conversation that's at the end of the season. I don't know that you're going to that a loss to Clemson on the road is the final straw either, unless you've got something lined up and you've got a deal in place, you can make something happen. But I think what this game did is, unless you get blown out of Clemson, and if you can beat Virginia Tech at home, now it becomes an end of the season conversation. I know that freaks everybody out. Everybody wants to get a jump on recruiting, but man, I saw this staff salvage a recruiting class in like 48 hours, it seemed like, at the end of last season, by hiring some new coordinators, throwing around some money. And I have a feeling whoever, if they have to make a change in late November, I think they'll figure out a way to get some recruits in this class.
Do we have a feeling one way or the other? Do you know? I mean, you're talking to your sources. I talk to mine. I'm sure some of them cross over. There are some guys that maybe I haven't spoken to or that you haven't spoken to. Do you get putting it all together? Do we know where they're at? Do you buy that nothing's going to happen and that they're just going to carry this over into next year? Or do you still think, obviously, these games are of vital importance moving forward? Like, it's not a foregone conclusion.
I don't know for a fact. I'd like to think it's not a foregone conclusion because, again, what if they win these games? You've already decided that you're going to pay $60, $70, $80, $90 million or whatever it is. And what if you win these games? Now, I didn't expect them to win these games, but I didn't expect them to beat Wake Forest by 35 either. So in my opinion, you're better off not spending all that money. I just think, listen, man, there was a conversation, I don't know, 2 years ago where the question was, would Florida State be willing to spend $100 million to leave the ACC? And we were all like, oh, man, that's crazy. $100 million. You're going to have to get that buyout down. So they sue and they get the buyout down. Eventually it's going to be 75. But nobody wanted to spend over $100 million to leave the conference. But you're going to spend that on changing coaching staffs on a hope and prayer that it works. Again, Hugh Freeze is a perfect example. They sold their soul. They said, we don't care about anything other than winning, and we're going to give them the money to do it. They were paying tons of money in the NIL market, and they still couldn't win. So to me, if you're going to write a check for $80, $90 million to go to a new staff that may not work, and what if this guy does win these last few games? So I get it. I understand the people who think they're done with him, but that's a lot of freaking money. And if you can salvage it, I think you want to salvage it. Now, if you lose these games, it doesn't matter. You probably have to make a change. But I would not have made the decision until I know that there's no chance of me saving the $80 or $90 million.
I think you hit it on it, Ira. It was right under our nose. We just have to sue Mike Norvell.
Yeah, okay.
They sued the ACC. They got that number down. We're going to sue Mike Norvell and get that number down, buddy. It's a breach of contract with all these losses. Just sue.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, they're not going to sue, obviously. Yeah, I guess the games matter. I wonder if Clemson's going to be invested or not.
Yeah, but listen, man, on the one hand, you say, okay, they're cooked. On the other hand, I do think when those helmets roll into Clemson's Memorial Stadium, I have a feeling they're going to find some resolution and try to play. Now, I do think, Florida State certainly can beat them the way they look, especially on defense. But on the flip side, man, the question we have about FSU is if they get punched in the mouth on the road, what are they going to do? And we haven't seen them look good. Now, that would be a great sign. If you went there and Clemson played decently and you still won that game, again, man, I think now you got to reconsider some things and really not rush to judge. But, we'll see. It could go sideways pretty quickly.
You know what I think? I think that Mike Norvell's time at Florida State is going to be defined not by the Clemson game, even if they lose it. It's going to be by the road NC State game and the road Florida game. You could very easily, as we sit here today, obviously we struggle to go on the road and beat NC State when we're good, let alone now. I think if you go on the road at the end of the year and lose those two games, that would be the end of the story for him. Because I don't know what to think about Clemson. They lose at home every week these days. And you're right. I think they'll play hard. But you could lose to Clemson, who's a talented team, and that wouldn't spell the end for Mike. Now, obviously, you couldn't come home and lose to Virginia Tech, and I don't think they will. I don't think Virginia Tech's going to come in here and play all that hard. It's those 2 games at the end of the year. That's a Florida team that suffered another loss. They have more talent than Florida State has, and we'll see if they're still playing hard. They seem to play hard every week, no matter what their situation is. And then, obviously, NC State has been well coached under Doran. I hate their defense, but good God, man, they just dropped whatever it was, 48 on Georgia Tech. If you were to lose those 2 games at the end, I think that would spell the end for Mike.
No, it definitely could be, and certainly if you get beat handily by Clemson and then come home and look bad against Virginia Tech, that could be it too. Yeah, I mean, it is, to me, it's like Mike Norvell after Stanford was trying to walk through a pretty big landmine. There's a lot of things you don't want to step on over the next 5 weeks. He avoided the first one. Now he's got to keep avoiding them. He's certainly not clear sailing at this point, but I do see a path to at least where you need to take some more information before you decide. And again, everybody wants to know now. People wanted to know a week ago. They wanted to know 2 weeks ago. I think they're smart because there's so much money on the line to just kind of play it, let it play out, and see what you got to do. Also, it's a crazy market. There's a million teams in it. There's a million teams in it, and not a lot of proven winners.
Brother, I would ask you about basketball, but we'll do that tomorrow on Headlines as the start of the season gets underway. College basketball starts today. Florida State starts on the 4th. We'll do that tomorrow. Always appreciate it. Monday Smash tonight with you and Tom. Look forward to watching. Be well, sir.
Thanks, FC, man.
Yep. Ira Schoffel, Warchant.com. We'll do Headlines tomorrow, but he's got Smash tonight with you, Tom Lang. And I imagine that'll be probably a talking point like the one we just had.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we all know where we both are on this. I'm glad that Florida State had the night that they did on Saturday, that it's 42-7. I want to see if it's an outlier or not. I would have made the move after Stanford. I think that was the time when you knew that there was enough information, but kudos to everybody for it. Look, they didn't make the decision. They decided to punt it down the road, and you get this result. Okay, let's go see if we get another one on the road at Clemson. I see what you're talking about those 2 games at the end of the year. You can bank on NC State carrying and playing hard.
They will play very hard.
Florida likely will as well.
That's all they do. They play hard every week.
Well, the strange thing is they played Tennessee the week before. I mean, this whole change to everybody's schedule. That used to be a September fixture, and now they're going to be playing Tennessee the week before us. I still don't think it'll matter. I think Florida will be there, and they'll be ready to go for that game.
You got to win games, and you lose your job when you don't. Billy Napier did. But I will say, whatever it is that they have done to create a culture where no matter the results of the games, meaning the losses that have mounted for Florida, that you still show up and play hard as hell every Saturday is what you're looking to do everywhere. You want that. Now, it's easier said than done. There are a lot of places where that's not the case. And I'm not trying to fawn over Florida. They lost again. It's a string of losses. But I do find it admirable that every Saturday, no matter who they're playing, they are going to play their ass off. Especially at a time like now where people front-loaded the money for the players on the roster. You see it all over the country where people just go through the motions.
I think that's what's notable about this effort for Florida State. I think they were worried that they were going to get hit in the mouth, and when they didn't, they said, oh, okay, this is a fight, and then they took it to Wake Forest, and they ran away with the football game. I think that's why it's scoreless after a quarter. I think that's why it's 7-0 deep into the second quarter. I think they were waiting for something bad to happen, and once it didn't, it was like, oh, this isn't so bad, and hopefully that begets confidence that they take with them on the road. As to signing day, it's going to be an interesting one this year because you have so many teams that are hitting the market. One would imagine that you have a lot of players who don't know what their future is. I wonder if this might be a wild year in that you might have a bunch of players take it to February that aren't early enrollees. If they're going to be summer enrollees anyway, you might as well wait to see who the new head coach is of where you're going to go.
It is weird.
Or further vet the new head coach if they're named, but they've only been there for 72 hours. Like, well, why would I decide my future just because I have to sign a piece of paper in December? I'll take it to February. I'll take some January visits. I wonder if there might not be, just on the margins, maybe an extra handful here and there for those universities.
To your point about the game and the way that it played out, I think you're right. I think that the 3rd and 6 played at Deuce with 30 seconds or thereabouts to go in the quarter, when Florida State was able to score first, I know he didn't score, but it was on the next play or 2 plays later, whatever it was, that I think that changed the way that they were going to play. Again, I don't think Wake is equipped to play a game in which they're down multiple scores. So 7-0 wasn't the end, but 14 in my mind was pretty much the end. They had to score on that next drive, and that's when you get the snap and the whole situation where the fumble happens. If they don't, they're screwed. They can't throw the ball around the lot. That's like us trying to throw the ball and be a drop back pass team. It's just not who we are. So the same thing will hold true for us this Saturday night at Clemson. You need some good things to happen early. You need Clemson to get into the here we go again mode, which they'll easily do. I mean, they're having a hard time winning home games. Let them get behind and the boos come cascading down as they did this past Saturday. By the way, those Clemson fans were booing heartily in that game. So you need to create that again if you can.
Yeah, I wonder if the here we go again comes from a score fest and back and forth offensive success, because Clemson was able to go toe-to-toe, but you wonder if that broke their spirits offensively. These are usually talking points that we talk about and really delve into as it relates to Florida State. But for Clemson, they're being tested in the same way that we've seen our program be tested far too often in the last 10 years, which is, is that the one where they all pack it in? Because I think their defense might have already done so, but does their offense go with it this particular weekend? We'll see. They at least rose to that challenge, and they scored left and right after being down early offensively. You just don't know which team is going to show up for them, and you shouldn't. I can't bank on what Florida State is going to be this weekend either.
Yeah, I can't bank on it either. Obviously, I'd like to believe it's a catalyst for a strong effort. T-Spark Enterprises, they conquer all peaks. Appreciate them being an advertiser on the Jeff Cameron Show. And for all your commercial and residential roofing and construction needs, make sure you call T-Spark today. T-Spark Enterprises, 850-766-1340. Not only is he a licensed contractor, he can do it for commercial build-outs or residential. So you've got the Elite Commercial Contractors Award winner in T-Spark Enterprises. Again, give them a call today, 850-766-1346. CGC, that's license number, CGC 1525336, CCC 1331204.
Your local news now.
Shots were fired overnight Friday just before 2:30 a.m. in downtown Tallahassee. Lanes were briefly closed due to the accident. This is a developing story. This is Rachel Linnea with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
Now, here's your Tallahassee weather report.
From the ABC 27 First to Know Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Ryan Gold. Skies will remain clear all day long, but we could have a bit of a breeze at around 10 miles an hour as we head out for our work breaks. As we head home, though, from work, we will climb into the upper 60s with the wind dying down. From the ABC 27 First to Know Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Ryan Gold.
Can you imagine rising for work before the crack of dawn? Tending to hundreds of acres of land before dusk? Well, that's what happens on more than 44,000 Florida farms every day. Florida's farmers work hard to grow nutritious food for you and your family. And you can help support them by enjoying delicious Fresh from Florida produce. Look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo where you shop, or visit freshfromflorida.com to learn more.
This is G. Deckeroff. In 1979, my friend Guy Moore opened his first store. Over 45 years later, Garnet and Gold is still providing the Seminole Nation with unique ways to show their spirit. As the last locally owned FSU merchandise source in Tallahassee, we're proud to be a part of the Florida State experience and this community. If you're a Seminole like me, this is your store. Garnet and Gold. Go Noles.
Hey everybody, this is Greg Tish, and I want to personally invite you to join us each and every weekday morning right here on Real Talk 93.3 for the Greg Tish Show. We have the best guests in Tallahassee. We play the funnest games like Give Me a Second, the movie clip game, and everybody loves a food segment every weekday morning at 6:45. So start your day with Tallahassee's morning show, the Greg Tish Show, right here on Real Talk 93.3.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Let's do it up and tell you to go and find our friends at AboveAndBeyondVR.com. That's AboveAndBeyondVR.com. Go take a look at those properties, man. 30 plus, 18 of which have a pool. Some right there on the water, right there on the beach. Others, a little downtown jaunt from the park, right? You've got it in and around that area. Best properties and access to luxurious condos and or quaint cottages, you name it. Clearwater Beach Townhome was the one where Tom and I stayed. That didn't suck. The old 3 stories overlooking the water.
That round table was pretty sick, too, the one that's on the screen right now. I don't know, just having breakfast there and lunch there each day. I was like, man, this is a nice-ass table.
Well, I could get used to the table as well as the overall condo. I don't
know. I latch on to little things like that. It's details.
It was breathtaking. And for you all, it is affordable. There's none of the Airbnb fees. They get rid of the middleman here. You can just type in the code JCS and save a lot of money as well, by the way. I think it's, 10% they're doing? Maybe it's 5%.
That is correct. And I'm looking at a December weekend. You got 2 nights. You can get in there for under $1,500. That's a 3-bedroom unit, Clearwater Beach. And usually that time of year, you want to get down to the water because Clearwater stays warm for much longer. And the Gulf is actually, instead of being a 90-degree bath, you get a nice refreshing Gulf temperature in December as well.
Yeah, it's worth your time to go scope it out, see if you and another couple want to, here he is. He's applying the code right now. Now look at us. Look at us here. All that money saving. Goodness gracious. Go and maybe a little holiday excursion will do you right. AboveAndBeyondVR.com. You can call today, 727-253-5995, or go to AboveAndBeyondVR.com. Who do you want to go with? I'm going with Fitzgerald hitting the game winner in the NFL. Cue it up.
Above and beyond. Above and beyond. Above and beyond.
Above
and beyond.
So I'm going to go with Fitzgerald kicking the game-winning field goal. How about that, man? Ryan Fitzgerald was an undrafted free agent, signed, and has had some game winners this year and has been a model of consistency. Good for him, man. I remember running into his parents at one point after he had rebounded from that disastrous campaign.
Didn't we see him in Ireland?
I think we did.
Yeah,
Did we? Yeah. And they were the nicest people, and I'm just happy for them. And it's going to be tough when you're watching your son struggle doing something he's always been good at, and you wonder, are they going to be able to bounce back from it? Are they going to be able to rebound? Are they going to be able to realize their promise? It's a stressful situation because even though football's a team game, being a kicker is a sort of an individual endeavor. I understand you have the snapper and the holder and all that good stuff, but man, it's on you. It's on your leg to be mentally tough enough to come through in those situations and do what you've done a million times before. It's a lot easier said than done. If it were easy, a lot more kickers would keep their jobs for a lot longer. So good for him. Also, if you wanted to, we did see an NFL record, speaking of kickers, fall over the weekend, which blows me away. It was bound to happen. Jacksonville's kicker, Little, ended up kicking a 68-yard field goal, guys, over the weekend. If you didn't know that, that's the new record. Unbelievable.
I could go above and beyond with how Deuce Robinson went above and around the defender to make a one-handed catch. That would be a good one. But I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals defense. They went above and beyond yesterday. Here are the scoring drives for Chicago in the second half. 12 plays, 77 yards. 6 plays, 74 yards. They had a short field, 5 plays, 20. Cincinnati bowed up and held them to a Cairo Santos field goal. But then 2 plays, 56 yards with 4 minutes to go in the game. And then finally, the one that you all know with 54 seconds to go. 4 plays, 72 yards 37 seconds, including a shot over the middle with no timeouts over the middle of the field to a tight end in which there are 2.5 players ready for the tackle. Nobody does. Touchdown Bears. Bengals lose.
Well, it's an epidemic in college and pro football where guys do not wrap up. He goes for a kill shot. I understood why they threw to the middle of the field to, was it Loveland or Lovelady or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Loveland, correct.
I understood why they did that because he would have had time to come and spike the ball, and they just needed to get to within 58. At least that's what they were hoping to do. And it's crazy to me that you don't wrap up in that situation. You have to get him on the ground. You have to make them run to the line of scrimmage and spike it. You've got to do it. And, of course, they don't.
They are the first team to score 38-plus points in back-to-back weeks and lose both of those games since the 1966 New York Giants. That is an above and beyond qualifier right there if you do something that hadn't happened since 1966.
Well, I'll do you one better too, buddy, because you saw after the game, you had the running back, Brown, say something about the defense, and you had Chase walking off the field saying something. Chase has been a pro's pro since he came into the league. I could see where if you're an offensive player and you score, 40, whatever they scored, and you lose that game, you just need one stop. It's a killer. It's a killer. Now, that said, they have coaching issues too, because I don't know how you're not in Flacco's headset. When you go back and look at the touchdown, I was watching in real time. I had my league pass going, buddy. I was all over the place. The Sunday ticket was working well in the Cameron household. It's one of my favorite things on Sundays, just game to game to game to game. It's a clock management disaster at the end of that game. You've got so many opportunities to run it down to where you could have scored with about 25 to maybe 20 seconds. And that probably doesn't happen. They snapped the ball. I think I recall they snapped the ball with like 16 or 17 seconds to go on the play clock from down there at like the 10. Don't do that, my man. You got to run that clock down. And if Flacco's not thinking about it, and he's a veteran and you would expect him to, but you're the head coach. You get in his ear. Hey, we don't need to snap it here. Slow your roll.
Yeah, also 470 yards from Flacco and 4 touchdowns.
Oh, he was incredible.
Not enough. Yet Chase at the end in the interview in the locker room, he used some choice words, but he said, I don't want to hear anybody from the defense telling me what to do. So what that implies is that perhaps he has some habits that have been corrected by defensive leadership, and he doesn't want to hear it anymore because they have habits. And their habits are giving up points.
Lots of them. And it really inopportune times, like after your team scores, 21 or 14 points in a minute and 40 seconds, including getting an onside kickback and going down the field and scoring when they had to have it. Cool watching Flacco throw a football, though. It's just a beautiful pass, isn't it? It's just a beautiful ball.
Well, that's 2 or 3 now that Cincinnati's lost that you go, I don't know how that's possible. They did steal one against Jacksonville, so you might say that it's kind of evened out. But if you look at that AFC race, I mean, they're done. They had to have one of these last 2, the Jets or this one. If you get one of those 2, you're still in the race. Now they're done.
I want to give an above and beyond salute to the replay officials in the Houston Texans game.
Okay.
On the play where C.J. Stroud gets blown up, concussed, and has to leave the game, it's one of these rare moments where a referee throws a flag that I absolutely understand why he throws the flag. Completely understand why he throws the flag. It's a brutal hit. In real time, it's very violent, very fast. It's a quarterback going feet first, and he wears this shot. His head snaps back and hits the turf. So the officials, being told what they've been told 1,000 times, are going to throw that flag. They do. When you begin to slow it way down, which is what you're allowed to do with replay assist, when you do that, you see he doesn't lead with his helmet at all. He's already left his feet before Stroud starts to slide. It's a shoulder to the chest. There's nothing illegal about it. It's a race to a spot. It's a race to a spot. And I've said this so many times that it never happens when a corner, in this case it was Chris Drain or whatever, he's racing him to a spot and he beats him to that spot by a fraction of a second. It's on the quarterback or any player for that matter about to slide or take themselves out of the play to protect themselves. They have to know, when do I need to do this? Quarterbacks in particular. He waited too long, and he paid a dear price. It was a brutal shot, and they rescinded the penalty, and he will not be fined, and it was not any problem. They went on with the game, and I went, you know what? Good job. This worked as well as it could work. That's the rule. That's the way it should be. I get why the official threw the flag. Thank you for the replay assist. Let's move on here.
And they're starting to get better at it in college, too, because you have to satisfy, I think it's 3 different things, 3 different elements of a target in order for the penalty to stand as a targeting foul, which means that the burden is much higher to be deemed targeting, which they before it was anything that's even close. When in question, it's targeting.
Drive me nuts.
So they're starting to get better. I'm curious to know where we stand now, because you got a lot of results that murky the NFL standings waters this weekend. If you had to pick 4 contenders, I'll give you a wide berth.
Oh, okay.
To win the Super Bowl. It could be 4 from the same conference. Doesn't matter.
To win the Super Bowl.
Win the Super Bowl only. Not about number 1 seed, home field. I'm talking about win the Super Bowl.
Here are the teams that can win the Super Bowl. You ready?
You only get to pick 4, though.
I know. And it's hard. It's hard. You ready? Seattle could win the Super Bowl. How about them apples?
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to, but they could. I think Detroit could win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a weird result yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps Minnesota alive.
Yes, it does. By holding me to 4, you've really put me in a bad spot here because I think Philadelphia can win the Super Bowl.
Well, and they just loaded up on defense the last couple of weeks. They had Jalen Phillips this morning from Miami.
I think, and I have to do this, I think Kansas City at 5-4 could still win the Super Bowl.
This was the hidden question. I wanted to see if you would bother to pick Indy or if you'd pick Kansas City before you pick Indy.
No, Kansas City. I'll stick with them. I'll stick with them despite the result. I've got a dark horse that could win the Super Bowl. It doesn't fit the parameters of your question. Yes.
Yeah.
Baltimore too. Now, look,
because they can win that division. That's their path.
They can win the division.
Yeah.
The problem. And there are some teams that are fun, and who knows if the right matchup happens.
It's a hurtful result for Baltimore yesterday, though, that Pittsburgh gets the win over Indy.
It is, but there's still a couple. They got to play them twice. They're 2 games back of them currently. You got to play them twice. Yeah. Look, you didn't leave yourself much margin for error. For that matter, this is the classic if the playoffs started today discussion. If the playoffs started today, Kansas City would not be in the playoffs. And we all know Kansas City's going to make the playoffs. But it was, it's nice to see that division. You've said it before. Denver keeps pulling it out of their ass every week in the last second. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's starting to get annoying.
Yeah.
Like they're not any good for 3/4 of every game they play.
Sean Payton's annoying by existing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the Chargers are 6-3, but we don't believe in the Chargers. Come on now. You know that.
No, they keep losing offensive linemen. Joe Alt got hurt. Well, Becton got hurt the week before.
Yeah,
they're in real trouble.
Yeah. But, it's weird. If you think about it, imagine if the Dallas Cowboys, who play tonight against Arizona, who are going to be without Kyler Murray, which might be a good thing for them. But anyhow, Dallas, if they win, will be 4-4. Of course, the Eagles only have 2 losses. They're 6-2. But if Dallas wins, they're 4-4. And they have one of the best offenses in the NFL. If you don't go and trade the best defensive player in the league, would you not be saying right now, Dallas has got a chance because that offense is sick? Well, dumbasses. I mean, what? It's nuts. They got to be so bad.
So the Bucs don't make your cut. Too many injuries?
Too many injuries, and I don't love the defense.
Yeah. Yep. They don't make my cut either.
No.
I think you could honestly take 3 teams from the NFC West. You could take Seattle, Rams, San Francisco, whoever emerges from there.
I was going to tell you, the Rams have an outside shot, too.
I'm going to give Buffalo a look in there, too. That was a humongous win for them yesterday. They had to have it. The spot was good for them. It's a short week, Kansas City. They're at home. All those things, the stars align. But Allen is starting to get that look about him again.
Well, quite frankly, he's one of the 3 best players in the league. He's just a freak, and he's a joy to watch play quarterback. I don't think he has a lot of weapons to throw to. They've got a decent tight end. They've got
2 of them. Yeah.
Decent tight end play, decent to plus tight end play. You've got a good running back. It's weird to me. James Cook just continues to have himself a career. Very good player. He's become a better running back than he was when he came into the league.
Their pressure yesterday, the front, but then also the pressure that they dialed up was impressive. That's what you need. speed the other team up.
That's the first time since Mahomes was a freshman at Texas Tech that he's had a day in which he completed less than 50% of his passes. First time since he was a freshman at Texas Tech. What was he, like 15 for 34? It was awful. They did pressure, and they hit in the secondary yesterday.
Yep.
There was some shots on Kelsey and others.
An above and beyond on Mahomes. He's to the right sideline, extending the play, and they drive him into the ground. Good. Oftentimes, everybody backs off.
Do that. You have to do that. It was
nice to see.
It was nice to see. So, again, I didn't think Buffalo had the receivers to get it done, but, man, it is cool to watch Josh Allen make average people look good. He's really good. And remember, the whole thing on him was whether or not he'd become a good passer. Well, good work out of you. Smash tonight. Be tuned in at 7 o'clock. And we'll be back with you tomorrow on a Lawn Maintenance Tuesday. Headlines Tuesday. Peace.